Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. The End of the World. The Green Dragon Fruit at the Beginning. Chapter 81. The sight of the black hole in the muzzle of the gun made his scalp numb. He felt that he should be able to withstand the bullets thanks to his cultivation in the copper skin realm and the defense of the pig crocodile fruit. But these people behind have no choice. What to do? He looked at Ao Shin with pleading eyes. Boss, they have guns. The situation was beyond his expectation. All of these idiots were armed with guns. Not only flintlock guns, but also real-life thermal weapons. I don't know where these people got them from. Ao Shin looked up and saw the muzzles. Buying a gun is indeed a good way in the early stage. However, you cannot practice domineering through close combat with a gun, which is extremely detrimental to improving your strength. Moreover, firearms are not cheap. If you want to earn points first with guns, and then use the points to exchange for better weapons and combat skills before going to fight, you may fall behind the times. Physical training needs to be done step by step. Now Xiao Bai, Luo Yi and Shi Yu have all reached the bronze skin level. 80 people in the team have awakened their domineering energy, and their strength improvement is on track. Of those who use guns, probably less than 20% have awakened their domineering energy. But now, with the weak armament of his men, they couldn't resist the bullets. It seemed that he had to take action. Whether you want to get our protection or want to pass by, you have to pay 100 points. The bald man said loudly. However, if you are willing to kneel down, kowtow to our brothers 3 times and call daddy, I will not be able to take you in. Ha ha ha. That beautiful girl, if you come to accompany me, isn't it better than following those losers? Pointing at Tang Yingying, this girl was much prettier than the girls in his base. Now, he couldn't wait for a change. After eating too many home-cooked meals, it's time to try a fancy meal. The man in a suit beside him nodded lightly, expressing his approval of the bald man's words. Ao Shin got off Xiao Bai and instantly turned into a green dragon and soared into the sky. His body was a little longer than before. When he turned into a dragon, both the bald man and the man in a suit were shocked. Qinglong appeared. Isn't this the Qinglong boss from Bian City rumored on the internet? It's over, now I'm on the iron plate. The bald man and the man in a suit were about to beg for mercy when they saw a bolt of thunder falling from the sky. Qinglong spit out 3 thunder roars in succession, and the dense thunder directly covered the shelter. Thunder rumbled continuously, and lightning illuminated the vast expanse of white in front of me. When the vision returned to normal and the thunder stopped, Ao Shin had transformed into a human again and returned to Xiao Bai's back. However, all the obstacles in front of him have been knocked down, and there is no longer a breath of life inside. The entire Dongsheng base was instantly leveled. Brother Dong and Brother Sheng were ability users, but before they even had time to show off their abilities, they were already electrocuted into charcoal. The strength of these 2 people is no more than that of copper skin. Although his thunder does not seem to be very powerful when fighting against the fur zombie, that is because the fur zombie's defense is too strong. How can these little Karami have the qualifications to resist? His hard battle is only against high-level zombies. Among humans, no one is his enemy. To him, raising an initial security base in an instant was nothing more than normal. He clapped his hands and said to the shocked people, "Keep walking, the road is open." Everyone's awe for him increased again, and they followed Xiao Bai silently towards Bian City. As he walked, he said, "Shocked by the gun. Don't be superstitious about guns. If you have more points, you can get a gun for self-defense. But when fighting zombies, don't rely on it. Dominance is the foundation. Do guns work? Of course there are, such as domineering bullets. However, with the shallow domineering power of this group of people, they can't even cover their own bodies, let alone wrap up bullets. Of course, now that the rules for earning points have changed, even if they want to kill zombies with guns, it's impossible. Along the way, Dongsheng Base is just an insignificant episode. He did not take this group of people to where his home was, but went directly to the bank of the Yellow River, where Meng Kui and others built their base. On the bank of the Yellow River, this group of migrant workers was working in full swing, but Meng Kui was not there. The leader is Feng Kun. This is not surprising to Ao Shin. Meng Kui had already told him that he would divide this group of migrant workers into 2 waves. Those who are willing to fight are divided into a team, and those who are unwilling to fight stay here to build a base and earn points based on their labor. Meng Kui's and Feng Kun took turns supervising their construction. Boss. Feng Kun saw Ao Shin coming with a large group of people and quickly stepped forward to say hello. Ao Shin nodded and stepped forward to check on their construction status. The black-scaled python received special care from Meng Kui under his special instructions. After Meng Kui obtained the seafloor stone processing method, he immediately gathered people to build a cage mixed with seafloor stone and trapped the black-scaled python in it. Feeding the killed zombie meat into his mouth every day, the giant python roared frequently, but there was nothing he could do. However, after eating zombie meat and becoming a crystal beast, he no longer resisted zombie meat, but was dissatisfied with the fact that he was imprisoned. Ao Shin stepped forward and patted the giant python on the head. His scales had completely crystallized. At first glance, he looked quite beautiful and mighty. The bones in his body were broken inch by Ao Shin. After crystallization, the bones were wrapped in crystals and repaired again. After Meng Kui learned about it, he smashed his bones again. However, he is not as relaxed as Ao Shin. Next to the python cage is the foundation built by migrant workers. Although they are afraid of fighting, with the domineering practice method, strong physical labor can slowly increase their physical fitness. Therefore, its construction efficiency is not low. After Meng Kui learned that Ao Shin was back, he quickly came back with the fighting team from outside. Also returning at the same time were the Villa Women's team led by Lu Xiao and her family. The mental outlook of these women led by Lu Xiao is completely different from before. They are all full of energy and strong in body. There were originally 31 of them, but in just 1 month, 12 of them died in battle. But what they got in exchange was a stronger will and considerable combat power. The 5 women left in the villa were all dead. Boss. Owner. They saluted Ao Shin respectfully, and when they saw a large group of people following Ao Shin, they knew they must be the forces newly conquered by the boss. The 19 women led by Lu Xiao also saw Ao Shin herself for the first time. Is this the owner of the boss? He's even more handsome than in the video. Thoughts flashed through their minds, but under Lu Xiao's training, they stood straight and motionless. Speaking of which, the women's team trained by Lu Xiao was more obedient and organized than the migrant workers' fighting teams led by Meng Kui. I don't know what kind of devil training Lu Xiao gave them. After introducing the two parties to each other, he said to Luo Yi, I will divide your people into different categories. Those who don't want to fight can join the construction team. As long as they work, they will get points. Those who are willing to fight will not have the advantage of killing zombies with obstacles in the future. Welcome to you, it will be a more dangerous battle. Luo Yi heard this and asked his subordinates for their opinions, while Meng Kui and Lu Xiao registered them. Brother, you are finally back. Ao Shin, who was inspecting the foundation and construction plans, suddenly heard her sister's voice, and the little girl screamed from afar. With her were her younger sister and the young man she met in the provincial capital before. Dad, Mom, Xiaochen. Ao Shin greeted him with a smile. In the apocalypse, there is nothing more joyful than seeing his family in good health. Brother, I've reached the copper skin realm. Ao Chen showed off his strength as soon as they met. I will work harder after you leave. Well, my Xiaochen is the best. Ao Shin was pleased with her sister's growth. After seeing her for a few days, she looked thinner, but her body was stronger and her spirit became more determined. The parents didn't say much. It was enough to see Ao Shin come back safely. Ao Kong has also reached the copper skin realm, and although his mother Zhang Hong has not yet reached it, she has awakened her domineering energy and already has a certain ability to protect herself. Wow, what a big tiger. Brother, where did you get that big tiger? It's so beautiful. After showing off and getting compliments, Ao Chen finally noticed Xiao Bai following Ao Shin. Relying on her current bronze skin realm cultivation and the courage developed from many days of fighting, she reached out and touched Xiao Bai's head. Xiao Bai took a step back and let out a low growl in his throat, warning Ao Chen not to come near. Oh, let me pet the little kitten. Ao Chen didn't take it seriously at all, and hugged Xiao Bai's big head. Xiao Bai was very unhappy. Ao Shin felt his emotions and exuded a faint overlord look. This is my sister. You should get along well in the future. Xiao Bai then put down his guard and whined, Yes, hold up the silver. Ha, Ao Chen, who was petting the cat, was surprised. You can talk. Xiao Bai nodded, and in her shocked eyes, he suddenly turned into a human form. Ao Chen, I touched the man's head for a long time. Although he is handsome, this is too embarrassing. Grabbing Ao Shin's sleeve, brother, why didn't you tell me he was human? Ah, it's not silver. Xiao Bai proudly announced that he was not a human being. Ah, it's a brain axe. Ao Shin, okay, this pronunciation hasn't been corrected yet. Xiao Bai is a Bengal white tiger. He can become like this after eating the renren fruit. From now on, he will also be one of us. Xiao Bai also nodded. Just do it. Then, with a roar, he transformed back into the mighty orc form, and showed off his well-developed biceps to Ao Chen. Hey, Ao Chen whispered, can you change back to your true form? I can't jerk off like this. Noob. Well, it's also dignified. This rude request was categorically rejected. Only the owner could touch his head, and no one else. Neither can the master's sister. This is the bottom line of a beast. Brother. Seeing Xiao Bai's refusal, Ao Chen had no choice but to act coquettishly to Ao Shin. I want to pet the cat. You promised me before that you would let me pet the cat and make Xiao Bai change back. There was no other way. Ao Shin had to look at Xiao Bai apologetically. How about you let her master be Tay? Xiao Bai's tiger head shook like a rattle, and every hair on his body was full of resistance. Be good. With a gentle smile mixed with a domineering look, Xiao Bai groaned twice in grievance and leaned down to transform back into a white tiger. Oh yeah, I'm playing with the cat. Ha 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 ha, here I come, kitty. Ao Chen excitedly rushed forward and raised and lowered his hands on Xiao Bai, completely ignoring Xiao Bai's loveless eyes. Tang Yingying on the side saw Ao Chen happily playing with the cat. She was envious and wanted to get close to him, but before she could get there, she received a warning look from Xiao Bai. She looked at Ao Shin for help, but Ao Shin had no intention of helping her. Sighing, I stood back with envy and hatred. I wish I had a brother like this. Boss Ao. Seeing that Ao Shin finally had time to glance at him, Yuan Fei quickly saluted Ao Shin. There were several scars on his face. They were not scratched by zombies, but caused by hitting obstacles while avoiding zombies. In his hand, he still held the steel pipe, which was stained with blood. Next to him was a young man who had come all the way from the provincial capital. If I remember correctly, his name seems to be Lin Tian. Boss, I walked here from the provincial capital. Can I join you? Lin Tian was even more excited when he saw Ao Shin again. Since meeting Ao Shin for the first time, he can often see Ao Shin's heroic fighting appearance in the video of God's Space. Killing zombies instantly and fighting against furry corpses with his bare hands, his invincible demeanor made his blood boil, and he became more determined to seek refuge in Ao Shin. Boss, I also have a devil fruit, so it's definitely not a burden. He hurriedly showed his value and wanted to be recognized by Ao Shin. Did you really get the devil fruit? Unsurprisingly, he would have had difficulty traversing this distance otherwise. Ouch. While talking, Lin Tian showed off his fruit ability. A white-haired fine dog stood in front of everyone, but his body was so huge that it was comparable to a white elephant. Boss, this is my fruit power. The white elephant-like thin dog shrunk in size and turned into a human animal form. It looks somewhat similar to Yamato. I am the dog fruit, the phantom beast breed, and the roaring dog form. Another phantom beast species. Ao Shin looked around and saw that this was the nest of the phantom beast species. Although there are far more devil fruits in the apocalypse than in comics, fantasy beast species are not so common. Moreover, in his previous life, he did not remember that there was a person with the ability of a phantom beast in the form of a roaring sky dog in Yuzhou. What was Lin Tian's situation? While he was meditating, Lin Tian continued to describe his abilities. In addition to the animal-specific physical bonus of the roaring sky dog, my perception ability and endurance are particularly outstanding. Among the 5 senses, I am the most sensitive to smell. As long as I smell it, I can track it even from a distance of tens of thousands of meters. These are characteristics unique to the canine family. Although the roaring sky dog is more powerful, it is not surprising. The roaring sky dog also has a special ability, and that is hunting. I can put a layer of hunting mark on the enemy. No matter where the enemy flees, I can sense his location. Attacking the hunting mark can cause additional damage. When the person with the hunting mark dies, the hunting mark returns to the body and will restore my injuries. However, only one hunting mark can exist at the same time. Ao Xin patiently listened to his story. In addition to enhanced physical fitness, sharper perception and hunting marks are the special effects of the fruit. It is equivalent to the target fruit youth version plus the bird bee youth version, which is relatively powerful. Lin Tian looked at Ao Xin expectantly. His abilities should be valued. Yes, you can stay for now. Ao Xin agreed that although this person had no reputation in his previous life, he might have died prematurely after encountering powerful zombies. Maybe he didn't get the phantom beast fruit because he didn't look eastward for himself. But in this life, his fate is obviously changing. Counting, he now has 6 phantom beast ability users under his command. They are himself, the fish fruit and blue dragon form; Ao Chen, rat fruit duobao rat form; Meng Kui, Niu Niu fruit Henry form; Lu Xiao, bird fruit Pleiades chicken form; Xiaobai, Ren fruit Lingguan form; Lin Tian, dog fruit howling sky dog form. In addition, there are 3 superhumans: Father Ao Kong, fruit of the operation; Mother Zhang Hong, sowing fruits; Tang Yingying, fragrant fruit. The ancient species of animals include Fengkun, in the form of Tyrannosaurus rex, Luoyi, the form of pig and crocodile, and the ordinary species of Shiyu, in the form of lynx. Tisk tisk, in my place, the common species are rarer than the fantasy beast species and the ancient species. Ao Chen also has a thunder fruit in his treasure storage space, as well as an ox niu fruit, ancient species, elastodon form, but he hasn't figured out how to use them yet. There is also the insect fruit, ancient species, and lily fly form that was agreed with Li Wei but did not directly complete the transaction. The existence of these people under his command did not make him feel particularly eye-catching. To Yuan Fei, he mused that this young man had good potential, and although his loyalty was weird, there was nothing wrong with it. If he got the elastodon form, his strength would surely improve by leaps and bounds. Or to Han Shuang, Akira can eat devil fruits. To be precise, everything can eat devil fruits, including Akira and zombies. But zombies are only interested in flesh and blood, and they will not take the initiative to eat it before turning on their spiritual intelligence. After opening their spiritual intelligence, some zombies will actively seek devil fruit to enhance their strength. Although Han Shuang looks strong, that's because of her high level. The xenomorph's combat power is the weakest at its level, and it would be great if she could use devil fruit to make up for her strength. After thinking for a long time, he finally did not reward the fruit. Just wait, now that there are 6 phantom beasts, he suddenly wants to build an army of hundreds of beasts, with the core being all phantom beasts, to complete Teacher Kai's unfinished dream. Han Shuang and Yuan Fei are undoubtedly the types who can be cultivated as confidants. Once the devil fruit is eaten, it cannot be replaced. Thank you, boss. Lin Tian will definitely not disappoint you. Lin Tian was overjoyed and quickly expressed his loyalty. At this time, the people brought by Luoyi had also been divided into groups. 30% of them did not want to continue fighting and chose to join the construction team. Among the remaining people, there were a total of 103 people, including 27 women. They were assigned to the women's team led by Lu Xiao, which made it easier to manage. Boss, Yuan Fei suddenly came to Ao Xin and said to him, Brother Shu came to me and said he wanted to join you. Can you accept them? Brother Shu. Ao Xin was stunned for a moment, and then realized that Yuan Fei was talking about Shu Wenhao in the north of the city. He had ignored them after taking Yuan Fei away before, so why did he take the initiative to find them again now? Shu Wenhao himself had good character and strength, but he was too kind-hearted. He was worried that he would cause trouble after accepting Shu Wenhao, so he ignored him. Boss, Brother Shu's abilities are very helpful in building the base. If we accept them, our base can be built faster. What he said is true. Shu Wenhao's iron fruit can control steel, although the iron element he created out of thin air cannot last forever and will disappear. However, with him controlling the steel, construction would be much easier. Okay, let him come to see me. After thinking about it, I still felt that the advantages outweighed the disadvantages, so I agreed to Yuan Fei's request. In addition, it is too slow to build a team of migrant workers alone. He plans to recruit people through the Biancheng exchange group of God-given space. In the Biancheng communication group, fewer and fewer people are talking. At this time of the end of the world, more people have died, and those who are still alive understand that not fighting will lead to death. A post appeared quietly, and it wasn't until 2 hours later that the first person clicked on it. I am Ao Shin, a user with the ability of the Azure Dragon. I am now recruiting people. If you are interested, please sign up with me. The man stared blankly at this line of text. Ao Shin. Boss Qinglong is finally hiring. His face was covered in blood and there were many scratches on his body. Even if he was not scratched during the battle with the zombies, he would still have scars if he fell or bumped his body. He was holding a pirate knife with a slightly curled edge and was hiding in a shop to rest. In order to survive, he had to go out and fight. Although he was much stronger than before, he also longed for the protection of big forces. Boss, I am willing to join you. How to join? Will you pick me up? His lips were chapped, and the fresh water he could find was long gone. If God hadn't given him space to exchange for food, he would have starved to death. I could barely survive on the little juice in my food. Occasionally, when I couldn't bear it anymore, I would find some sewage to drink. But this behavior is extremely dangerous. No one knows whether the sewage is contaminated by the zombie virus. He is always worried that he will be infected. Now, the strongest man in Bian City, and one of the strongest men in the world recognized by everyone on the Godsend network, Qinglong Ao Shin, is willing to openly recruit people. He stared at this post closely, looking forward to Ao Shin's reply. Of course, Ao Shin couldn't keep watching and spread the news. He would just do the statistics tomorrow and then decide on the next plan. However, this post quickly spread in Biancheng. More and more survivors have noticed and eagerly left messages below to express their willingness. At Chengnan Chemical Plant, Zhang Heng had just brought people back to the factory to rest when his subordinates reported the news of Ao Shin's recruitment. Boss, Ao Shin is very popular now. Those people we recruited before also want to join him, but they dare not say it openly. I found out that they are already thinking of ways to contact Ao Shin secretly. Zhang Heng frowned. He was not a capable person and did not have those innate advantages, but he still recruited a group of subordinates with his courage to fight and fight. He has seen those videos about Ao Shin. He is simply not human. He thinks that his progress has been rapid. Whether it is the awakening of domineering power or the improvement of realm, it has been very fast, but now he is still only in the copper skin realm. Not to mention single-handedly challenging zombies, he had been bragging for a long time when he saw zombies escaping. At this time, another boy next to him rolled his eyes and said, Boss, our fresh water has been cut off for 5 days. I heard that Ao Shin is recruiting people to build a safe base by the Yellow River. We might as well join him. Besides, even if we don't invest, once his base is built, he will definitely expand outwards and we won't be able to defeat him. Instead of being defeated and surrendering then, it is better to join him before his power rises. With your strength, boss, you might be able to sneak into the core position. Zhang Heng was very reluctant, but he had to admit that his subordinates were right. At the beginning of the apocalypse, I had no time to prepare, so I could only look for a safe spot nearby, and I didn't think too much about it. At this moment, the fresh water is exhausted, and there seems to be no other way besides moving to the Yellow River. His hand holding the knife clenched and unclenched, unclenched and tightened again. After a while, he said, I'm tired. Let's talk tomorrow. Boss. The man who made the suggestion wanted to say something else, but Zhang Heng waved his hand and went to his bedroom without looking back. He stood there with squinted eyes watching Zhang Heng leave, not knowing what he was thinking. Zheng Shichao, do you want to betray Brother Heng? Behind him, another middle-aged man spoke in a gloomy tone, with a hint of warning. Hee. Zheng Shichao sneered, betrayal. Have I ever done anything sorry to Brother Heng? Now that we are about to die, do you want to accompany Zhang Heng to death? He was not afraid of this man's threat at all, and turned around and left after taunting him. The man was angry, but didn't say anything more. In the center of the city, in the Drum Tower City, thanks to the many shops around it, Yang Xiaofei and others have sufficient supplies. Now, we are not completely starved of food yet. They are also discussing the recruitment of Ao Shin at the moment. Ao Shin summons people. What do you think about this matter? In the drum tower, a middle-aged man in black sat in the center with a stern expression. There were people sitting around him. They are all helpers he carefully selected and roped in. I have watched Ao Shin's video. If the video is true, I dare say that no one in the entire Bian city can be his opponent. Besides, that video was taken more than 10 days ago. He will only be stronger now. Moreover, his appeal is far stronger than ours. If nothing else, if there is a conflict between us, he doesn't have to do anything. Most of our people will rebel. These people discussed it carefully, but their words were so weak. Brother Fei, I think it's better to join him. He doesn't have many people now. If we bring these 100 people, we can gain some status. After this person spoke, everyone else fell silent or sighed. Although these words are shocking, they cannot be refuted. Before, when Ao Shin went to the provincial capital, Yang Xiaofei had played against Feng Kun. If Feng Kun hadn't recovered from the injury suffered by Ao Shin, Yang Xiaofei would have been torn alive by Feng Kun that time. And, according to Feng Kun, above him is Meng Kui, and Meng Kui's boss is Ao Shin. In other words, the strongest Yang Xiaofei here can't even beat Ao Shin's younger brother. There is no suspense about the strength comparison between the two sides. Brother Fei, they are all ability users, that's why they are so strong. If you are also an ability user, you will definitely be no worse than them. But now, we really have to bow our heads. Yang Xiaofei listened to everyone's discussion and sighed. No, even if he doesn't use the fruit ability, I am no match for him. He has at least reached the Iron Bone realm. Judging from the speed of his upgrade, even reaching the Giant Strength realm is not enough now. Strange. Those who can survive in the apocalypse must first understand the situation clearly, rather than being enthusiastic and refusing to admit defeat. If you should give in, then give in. Besides, is that cowardice? That comes from the heart. The people present were all people who had been killed by zombies, so they understood this even more. While we haven't had any holidays with him yet, it is indeed the most appropriate moment to take refuge with him. He was still a little unwilling, but looking at these brothers who followed him through life and death, he wanted to bring a better future to everyone. Let me contact Ao Shin. He should be willing to accept us. Enter the God-given space and find Ao Shin's post in the Biancheng communication group. He left a message below. I am Yang Xiaofei. I am located in the drum tower in the center of the city. A total of 178 people under my command are willing to join you. What should we do? On the bank of the Yellow River, Ao Shin suddenly thought when he was looking at some equipment that Meng Kui and the others had transported from the water plant. If I can discharge myself, are there any opportunities to use those electrical appliances? I quickly went to the team to ask if anyone knew anything about circuits. However, we found a few electricians and a college student majoring in a related field. Their first reaction after hearing this was that it was impossible. The first is that special equipment is needed to receive it, and Ao Shin also needs to have strong control over the current, otherwise, the equipment will be burned out all of a sudden. However, Ao Shin's own control power is not strong. He is a blue dragon, not a thunder, and controlling wind, fire and thunder is just incidental. In addition, who can expect a few electricians and a college student to make equipment for receiving lightning? I can only put this idea aside for now and talk about it later when I have the opportunity. Xu Wenhao and others seemed to have been nearby originally. After receiving Yuan Fei's message that Ao Shin agreed to their joining, they rushed over immediately. Thinking of the last conflict, Xu Wenhao's first action after seeing Ao Shin was to kneel down on one knee. Your Excellency Ao Shin, the last conflict was my fault. From now on, Xu Wenhao will be loyal to you. Behind him, there were 11 people. But the situation for the 11 is not optimistic. One of them had a broken arm, and another had his entire nose missing. Moreover, I remember that when I first met them, there were 13 people in total, but now there is one less person. Brother Xu, where is Sister Lan? This was the first time Yuan Fei met them again after leaving Xu Wenhao. At first glance, it is quite worrying. Moreover, the big sister who was very bold and took good care of her was missing. Xu Wenhao trembled when he heard this and whispered, Shaolin, he's dead. Ao Shin was not interested in the story that happened to them, and did not want to ask. It was a miracle that only one person died in more than a month. Get up, Ao Shin said. If you don't want to fight, just join the engineering team. Women, go to Lu Xiao's team, and then go to Meng Kui to register. But Xu Wenhao, you need to help with construction for at least 5 hours every day. After 5 hours, you can go to combat training if you want. Of course, with your ability, the contribution you have made cannot be compared with others. I will give you a reward of 100 points per day. This price is not low for Xu Wenhao. Although he has reached the bronze skin realm, it is not difficult to kill ordinary zombies. But activating the ability frequently consumes a lot of physical strength. Although it is possible to kill 100 zombies a day, it is very tiring. Moreover, these 5 hours did not require him to help with the construction all the time. His physical strength could not last so long. This was time for him to rest and recover. Xu Wenhao has no objection. The group of people under his command are not cowardly and will continue to participate in the battle. Meng Kui and Lu Xiao were asked to register and arrange for them respectively, while Xu Wenhao directly invested in the construction of the base. The basic structure was still reinforced concrete. Meng Kui and Feng Kun brought a lot of steel bars from the building materials factory, but Xu Wenhao did not need to make the steel bars directly. He only needs to manipulate these steel bars to build the skeleton structure, which can save a lot of time. In the evening, Ao Shin took Xiaobai home. He introduced Xiaobai and Han Shuang to his family again. His parents were open-minded and recognized these two non-humans. After dinner, Xiaobai finally escaped from Ao Chen's clutches. The big tiger kept rubbing his legs in Ao Shin's bedroom, whimpering to express his grievances. Okay, Xiaochen likes you too, right? We are a family from now on. Hearing the family, Xiaobai's tiger eyes suddenly flashed brightly. Juyin, we are a family. Ao Shin touched his head and said, you should talk more when you have nothing to do. The pronunciation is too strange now. But Xiaobai shook his tail and said, we are only talking to each other. Although he was intelligent, he was only 1 year old and his mind was very simple. He squinted his eyes and enjoyed Ao Shin's touch. This was completely different from the little witch's random touch, which made him very happy. The door creaked open quietly. Xiaobai seemed to smell something and jumped up suddenly, with a human-like expression of grief on his face. Brother, Ao Chen approached quietly, and seeing Xiaobai's resistant expression, he couldn't help but touch him twice. Why are you here in the middle of the night? Don't think wrongly. I saw your comments, they are siblings, not adopted. There is no orthopedic plot. Ao Shin had no choice but to sit up. Ao Chen touched Xiaobai's soft tiger hair, and then said with satisfaction, brother, that Han Shuang, is she really a crystal person? Ao Shin did not hide Han Shuang's identity, anyway, the family would know it sooner or later. Before at the dinner table, Ao Chen and his parents wanted to ask, and after dinner, when Han Shuang went downstairs, they asked their daughter to ask what was going on. Although they are open-minded, the so-called crystal person sounds like a zombie. Don't worry, she is a different species, and she still retains her self-awareness, so she can be trusted. Ao Shin knew that they couldn't accept Han Shuang so quickly. Unlike Xiaobai, Xiaobai is nothing more than a big cat, just like raising a pet, although this pet can turn into a human. But Han Shuang, that's too dangerous. They are even worried that Han Shuang will carry the zombie virus and infect others. Although the crystal people use the zombie virus as evolutionary energy, the crystals in their bodies have already completed the transformation of the virus, so they don't contain the virus in their bodies. Ao Shin explained it in detail to her sister. Is that so? Ao Chen pondered, and suddenly asked again, brother, tell me honestly, is this Han Shuang related to your rebirth, she? As she was talking, she suddenly remembered that there was Xiaobai next to her. This is not an ordinary tiger, he can understand human words. She quickly shut up, secretly glanced at Xiaobai who shrank into the corner, and asked Ao Shin with her eyes. Ao Shin sighed. Xiaobai is not an outsider, it's okay. Then he told Ao Chen about the past life and Han Shuang. Now, apart from my parents and you, the only people I can trust are Xiaobai and Han Shuang. Even Lu Xiao and Meng Kui have to step back a little. Speaking of Lu Xiao, Ao Chen suddenly became excited. Brother, what do you think of Sister Xiao? What do you think? Ao Shin was confused. Ao Chen said with a sly smile. I asked Sister Xiao, she said she wanted to sleep with you, ouch. Suddenly, he was hit on the head, and Ao Chen pouted aggrievedly, stinky brother hit me again. Ao Shin said, what are you thinking, little girl? Ao Chen snorted. I have discussed it with my parents, and they all think Sister Xiao is good, beautiful, sensible and filial. Mom wants to recognize her as her goddaughter. Don't you want a goddaughter instead of a wife? And you have already lost a devil fruit, and it is a mythical beast. It would be a pity if you don't marry her. Ao Shin, according to what you said, I have to marry Meng Kui too. Ao Chen, well, it's not impossible, ha 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 ha. Before she finished speaking, she hurriedly jumped down, making Ao Shin's head go blank. She made a face at Ao Shin again, luong luong luo. By the way, that Tang Yingying, isn't she the little wife you were looking for outside? Go to sleep. What are you thinking about all day long? The wind blew from the open window, sweeping away a hint of the sultry heat of the summer night. Ao Shin lay on the bed, one hand drooped down to touch the tiger's head, and slowly fell asleep. Downstairs, across from Meng Kui's room, Han Shuang sat on the edge of the bed with her legs crossed. He really treats me like family. The corners of her eyes were moist, and she felt that she was no longer alone. It's just that my ugly face is really embarrassing. The next day, Ao Shin stretched out. Although it was the end of the world, he still felt comfortable sleeping at home. Getting off the bed, I stepped on something furry and soft. Well, Ao Shin looked at Xiaobai's resentful eyes and smiled sheepishly, good morning. Try to find. Seeing Ao Shin's smile, Xiaobai's resentment at being stepped on woke up instantly dissipated, and he went back early. After breakfast, he opened the shrine space and looked at the post he had left last night. Not surprisingly, the messages were full. Boss, I am willing. Please take me in, boss. Me, I am willing too. But boss, I am here in the eastern suburbs of the village. I heard that you are by the Yellow River. I can't get through. Boss, please take me in. I'm willing to warm your bed. Boss, I have killed several zombies myself. I have used up all the supplies I could find, but there is no water. Please give me some water, boss. Among the countless messages, one caught his attention. I am Yang Xiaofei. I am located in the drum tower in the center of the city. A total of 178 people under my command are willing to join you. What should we do? Is Yang Xiaofei's power in the center of the city? Although Ao Shin was surprised, she felt it was reasonable. Although these strong men are arrogant, they are also heroes who know the current affairs very well. In the apocalypse, there is no shame in bowing your head. I have to say, he made the right decision. He posted a paragraph under the post and pinned it to the top. I will create a new group for those who are willing to join me. If you join this group, I will not ask questions and will not allow anyone to speak. After I ask a question, I will not be allowed to answer anything irrelevant to the question. Violators will be expelled immediately. Moreover, I will never accept it. Then, he established another communication group in the God-given space. The communication function of this God-given space is more convenient than the network in the civilized era. It would take some time for them to join the group, so he went to check out the Dragon King store. After confirming that the Dragon King store would replenish the goods from time to time, everyone stopped frantically grabbing. However, almost everyone in the world has given up on the God-given store and only shops in the Dragon King store. His goods are still selling very fast. After completing the goods again, he called Meng Kui and others over. I plan to recruit some more people. Ao Shin said to everyone. I've created a group in the God-given space. You guys can go in later and help me organize it. Meng Kui separates the teams that are willing to fight. Don't crowd together with a large group of people. Give Xiaochen, Xiaobai, Han Shuang, Yuan Fei, Feng Kun, Luo Yi, and Lin Tian a portion. You and Feng Kun take turns supervising the construction of the base. 8 teams spread out to take people. Bringing back those who are willing to surrender to us will be considered a trial for you. After hearing this, Yuan Fei exclaimed, Boss, I can't do it, I'm not as strong as Brother Meng and the others. Among them, except for Yuan Fei and Han Shuang, they are all capable people. Han Shuang is a crystal person and has very high combat power. He is the only one who is an ordinary person. Even though he fights desperately, he is not a domineering genius, and his strength does not improve quickly. Ao Shin asked him to lead the first team directly, which put a lot of psychological pressure on him. Ao Shin said, "You can do it. I will transfer Shi Yu to you. He is an animal-type ability user and can help you share some of the pressure." This is, Yuan Fei can make a name for himself in the apocalypse as a non-ability person, and he is not a mother-in-law. Since Ao Shin trusts him, he naturally does not want to live up to this trust. After the explanation, he asked these people to join his group. Except Han Shuang. After Han Shuang became a Jingren, he lost the qualification to enter the God-given space. Ao Shin said to Lu Xiao, "Get someone you trust to be Han Shuang's deputy and let her lead the way." Lu Xiao immediately replied, "Okay, the best performer in my team right now is Bai Sisi. I asked her to assist Sister Han Shuang." Yeah, Ao Shin still has some impression of this girl named Bai Sisi. She was promoted to deputy by Lu Xiao. When Lu Xiao reported to Ao Shin, she was the one who led the team. There is a fierceness in this girl's eyes, and she is someone who can achieve great things. Then he said to Han Shuang, "Whoever dares to laugh at you, just kill them. Don't ask why, kill them until they are scared. With me behind you, just go ahead and do it." Okay, Han Shuang agreed softly, feeling warm in his heart. Even if her identity is not revealed, her ugly face alone can arouse ridicule and ridicule from countless people. In her previous life, she didn't want to kill humans. As long as others didn't murder her, she tolerated it. But in this life, with Ao Shin supporting her, she no longer has to suffer such humiliation. Ao Chen was surprised and said, "Can I lead the team too?" Previously, Ao Shin was worried that bringing people along would affect the progress of her training. Although the Duobao rat is also an animal type, it has no bonus to physical fitness. It is only worthy of praise for its speed. Based on Ao Chen before, she was worried that taking someone would drag her sister down. But things are different now. Ao Chen's strength has also improved, and leading people can also increase her management experience. After all, he cannot manage it alone when establishing a force. He must use trustworthy people. What is more trustworthy than parents and family? He also thought about getting his parents involved. But the old couple seemed to have become much younger since they started practicing cultivation. The scene he saw when he came back for dinner yesterday seemed as if the old couple had returned to the honeymoon period. Killing zombies is done together, as if we are living in a world of two. Yes, it's a good thing that his parents have a good relationship, so he didn't mention it anymore. When his father was tired from fighting, he would ask his mother to use her ability to sow fruits to bring back a few zombies to the central hospital for research. They have been fighting near the central hospital recently. I don't know what my father can research from zombies. Juin, I want you to stay. When everyone else entered the group chat under Ao Shin's arrangement, Xiaobai suddenly spoke, blinking his big eyes at him. He didn't quite know what he was going to do. "Ah, I forgot about Xiaobai." Ao Shin slapped his forehead and said to Meng Kui, "You should also arrange a capable deputy for Xiaobai. His spiritual intelligence has just been opened for a short time, and he doesn't understand many things yet." Meng Kui said, "Yes, there is a man named Zhang Dao, who has performed well. I was planning to promote him. Now let him be Xiaobai's deputy." Ao Shin explained to Xiaobai, "Follow the man named Zhang Dao, do what he says, learn more about being a human being. I'm not leaving. If I leave, I will take you with me." Xiaobai agreed. After arranging these people, Ao Shin went to the bank of the Yellow River to find Xu Wenhao and asked him to use his ability to build an iron fence. The gap in the fence was very small, but it was very thick, large, and heavy. But this weight is nothing to Ao Shin. He put the iron fence into the Yellow River and made a simple fish pond. Then, he reached into the river and felt it. Now that the apocalypse has lasted for more than a month, the content of seastone factor in the river has increased a little. He could clearly feel the resistance of that force to himself, which made his body a little weak. Fortunately, the concentration of seastone factor in the river is not high now. He feels about 30% weaker, which is acceptable. However, this is also because he has integrated the invisible black blood factor, and his physique is strong, and his resistance to seawater has also increased a little. He jumped into the river as a blue dragon. Although he is not very good at swimming, dragons are water gods. If it were not for the restraint of seastone factor on ability users, he could swim freely in the sea. Qinglong went into the river. He wanted to find those big fish that had mutated. Just like the black-scaled python. Although these water monsters are not as vicious as pythons, they are also mutated species. If they enter the sea, they will have the opportunity to evolve into sea kings, which is the most suitable culture dish for cultivating crystal beasts. The yellow river was turbid and clogged with silt, but his vision also improved with his strength, and he could barely see the scene in the river. There were fish in the river, but these fish were not big, and they were not the water monsters he was looking for. Fish were very strange creatures. I don't know if it was because of the seastone factor, there were almost no infected fish. Most of them either adapted to the virus and became stronger and became water monsters, or turned into crystal beasts. In other words, they seemed to have another evolutionary route, that is, to become sea kings. But if they were fed zombie meat directly, it would be different, they would still turn into corpses. Qinglong wandered in the river, looking for water monsters that could be used as crystal beast culture dishes. A 3-meter-long big fish jumped into his eyes, and he shook his head. The strength of this fish was too weak, and the probability of becoming a crystal beast was not high. Continuing forward, he encountered another mutated yellow river carp. This fish was at least 10 meters long, and its body was shining with a lustrous white light. That was its scales reflecting light. Ao Shin's eyes lit up. This is a crystal beast. The dragon claws stretched out, piercing the hard crystal scales on the big fish and piercing into the big fish's body. No matter how it struggled, it couldn't break free. The first one, another huge eel about 20 meters long, passed by the seabed. When it saw the more than 100-meter-long green dragon above its head, it quickly sank down. This one seems to be worth cultivating. Ao Shin hurriedly caught up. The river was churning, and the green dragon came and went freely in it. When he stood up from the river, there was a huge water monster stuck in the 20 claws of his limbs. Jumping out of the river, riding the flame clouds into the air, he threw all the water monsters into the cages prepared nearby. The cages have been separated to prevent them from attacking each other. 20 water monsters, how can there be a few crystal beasts? He returned to land and grabbed a few zombie corpses that were killed by Mang Kui and the others. He forcefully opened the water monster's mouth and threw it into its throat. To prevent them from spitting it out, it also pressed hard into its throat with its paws to ensure they swallowed it. After swallowing it, he once again grabbed the zombie corpses and fed them to the water monster. He repeated this process many times until he could clearly see the water monster's belly swelling, and then he stopped. He transformed into a human again and returned to the shore, clapped his hands and said with a smile, "You want me to feed you personally, so you are quite proud. I wish there could be a few more crystal beasts." He looked back at the black-scaled python trapped in the seafloor stone cage. He opened the cage and touched its body, and found that its bones had grown again. He took off the steel whip from his back and broke it again. Okay, so soft and cute. He fed the big python another zombie meal, then closed the cage and walked away. In the cage, a pair of scarlet eyes of the black-scaled python stared at him. After its scales were completely crystallized, its bones were gradually turning into crystals. Returning to the river bank, he stared at the pool, where the water monsters were churning violently. After a big fish flipped for a few minutes, its scales suddenly began to fall off, its eyes protruded, and sharper teeth sprouted from its mouth. This is turning into a zombie. Zombie fish are not a good thing. He stepped on the air, used moon steps to reach the sky above the pond, reached out to fish it out, smashed the big fish's head with his finger gun, and fed it to the black-scaled python. The first one failed, he muttered. Soon, another big fish turned into a zombie, biting the cage frantically in an attempt to escape, but he pulled it out again, killed it, and fed it to the big python. Another failure. Hey, after all, they are not overlord-level monsters like the black-scaled python that can dominate the entire river. The probability of these little monsters becoming crystal beasts is not very high. He suddenly saw the scales of a big fish shining brightly. Although it had not crystallized yet, there were already signs of this. This shows that the brain of this big fish has been covered by brain crystals and has become a crystal beast. Success. Overjoyed, he just stared at the changes in the big fish. In the end, only 5 of the 20 big fish turned into crystal beasts. Others have become zombie fish. After clearing the zombie fish, he transformed into a green dragon and dived into the river again to continue his second capture. This was repeated many times. In the evening, when Ao Chen, Meng Kui and others returned from various places with people willing to join them, the 50 cages were completely filled with crystal beasts. 50 crystal beasts, he caught countless times before he was full. Judging from past life experience, many years after the end of the world, China has the most strong human beings, and Asan has the most strong zombies. Even those zombies with spiritual intelligence took over the territory of Asan Kingdom and established a zombie kingdom. The places with the most crystal beasts are in Africa and South America. The only places in China suitable for cultivating crystal beasts are rivers and seasides. The monsters in the sea are more dangerous than those in the jungle. In addition, the sea itself is dangerous. Therefore, it is better to rely on the water monsters in the river to cultivate crystal beasts in the early stage. Therefore, many strong men have set their sights on humans. Since it is difficult to cultivate crystal beasts, let's get crystal humans. They imprisoned their compatriots and forced them to eat zombie meat. When the zombies transformed, they killed them as points, and then fed the corpses to others. Those who withstand the zombie virus and become crystal beings are cultivated for a period of time and then killed to obtain brain crystals. In the apocalypse, it is impossible to imagine the lower limit of morality. 50 water monsters are still not enough to serve as a petri dish. But today has been a busy day. Tomorrow, he will build a row of water cages on the bank of the Yellow River to trap crystal beasts. Ao Chen and other 8 teams brought back almost all the survivors in Bian City. Anyone who is not stupid knows that taking refuge in Ao Shin at this moment is the safest choice. Unless someone can awaken the system. Brother, we brought him back. Ao Chen shouted excitedly, I'll register them. She tried her best to act like a big sister, taking people to register information and giving them precautions. Boss Ao, you will be our boss from now on. Yang Xiaofei's expression was a little complicated, but he still led his group of men to kneel down and pledge their allegiance. It was Xiaobai who went to pick him up. On the way, when he saw Xiaobai fighting with zombies, he was shocked beyond words. Moreover, this strong man maintained his human animal form throughout the whole process, and his true appearance has never been seen. He tried to talk to him, but the strong man was extremely cold and ignored him completely. Even such a cold and strong man is willing to be Ao Shin's subordinate, what dignity can he hold on to? But what he didn't expect was that after seeing Ao Shin, this cold and strong man howled and turned into a big white tiger, and rushed towards Ao Shin. Raise the silver. The seal is completed. Xiaobai rubbed Ao Shin's trouser legs, showing great affection. Is this still the cold and strong man? Yang Xiaofei only felt that there were 100,000 grass and mud horses galloping in his heart. What a fool. This coquettishness is too much. Ao, boss Ao, who is this? He tried to talk to Ao Shin, but he still didn't know what the personality of this expert who was widely rumored in the God-given network was. Xiaobai, this is his true form, a white Bengal tiger. Ao Shin is also sizing up Yang Xiaofei. This person has some talent and can be used if he is trained. Little, no, bye, brother bye. When he saw Xiaobai's murderous look, he immediately changed his mind. His previous impression of Ao Shin was still in the video and the pressure Feng Kun brought to him. But after arriving here, he realized how small he was. Here, there are at least 10 people who can defeat him. It's ridiculous that I used to sit in a well and watch the sky, but I still had the ambition to compete for the hegemony of Bian City. Now, have a good time following Ao Shin. In the future, he will also be an executive in this big force. Each of these 8 people has a different leadership style, and the mental outlook of the people they bring back is also different. For example, all the people Han Shuang brought back looked frightened. Because some blind guy mocked Han Shuang for being ugly, his neck was broken alive. After that, everyone in this team was silent all the way. They did whatever Han Shuang said. Even if Han Shuang asked them to eat shit, these people would probably eat it without hesitation. When they came to the bank of the Yellow River, they all prayed that they would never be allowed to follow this murderous god again. It would also be great if you could follow the beautiful girl who registered everyone. According to statistics, a total of 2,000 people were brought back this time. It's not that there are only 2,000 people left in Bian City, but the limit that these 8 teams can take care of is 2,000 people. More than half of these 2,000 people are in poor physical condition. That's caused by lack of water. On the banks of the Yellow River, there are water purification equipment and distillation equipment obtained from the water plant. They have stored a lot of clean fresh water these days. Give everyone a little. Having fresh water in your stomach is better than giving them 10 points. These people thanked Ao Xin profusely and said they would repay Ao Xin. Ao Xin didn't care about these words. How can loyalty be so easy to obtain? After registering them, they were assigned to engineering teams and combat teams according to their wishes. The number of people under the command of the 8 captains also increased again. At night, after Ao Xin went home and had dinner, she called Ao Chen into her room. "Brother, is something wrong?" As soon as Ao Chen entered the room, he hugged Xiaobai's head and rubbed it randomly. Xiaobai whined, but did not dare to resist. Ao Xin said, "I will transfer 1 million points to you, and you can redeem the poisonous powder's blood factor. Although my younger sister, Duobao Mouse, has strong special abilities, her combat power bonus is too low. If she can obtain the ability of the blood factor exoskeleton, her strength will be greatly improved. But these 4 blood factors all have flaws, and he doesn't want his sister to become a war machine that has lost its emotions. Therefore, the only poisonous powder that can retain feelings becomes the best choice." In the manga, although Reiju retains her feelings, she is unable to disobey Gaji's orders. There is no Gaji now. Perhaps in order to maintain balance, Toxic Powder's exoskeleton ability has been weakened by half as a price for retaining feelings. But even if half of the exoskeleton is weakened, the enhancement obtained cannot be underestimated. 1 million. Brother, how many points do you have? Even though Ao Chen knew that there was a Dragon King store in Ao Xin, he was still shocked by so many points. Not much, they're all replenished. Ao Xin spread his hands. Where's the goods? Sold. Where are the points? Restocked again. So he is still a poor guy. Anyway, just remember that our family will not be short of points in the future. Ao Xin urged her to quickly redeem the poisonous pink blood factor. These 4 bloodline factors are different from invisible black and can be redeemed by everyone. But the bloodline factor also needs to be awakened step by step. Every time you redeem it 1 day early, you will get a huge advantage. Ao Chen didn't hesitate and immediately entered the God-given space after getting the points. Soon, Ao Xin saw that her body was frozen on the bed, unable to move, and there were fine beads of sweat on her forehead, exactly the same as when she fused the blood factor. He watched his sister's performance carefully, and a pair of illusory pink butterfly wings appeared behind her. As the wings flap, a faint pink sheen falls. That is the special ability brought by the bloodline factor, which can absorb and release toxins. It's a pity that the virus is not considered poisonous, otherwise, this ability would be really invincible. Although the zombie virus cannot be absorbed, the poisonous powder's resistance to the virus has also been greatly enhanced. If you are accidentally scratched, you will not be infected immediately, and there is still the possibility of rescue. Time passed by, and Ao Chen's body was almost soaked, which was a mixture of sweat and blood. Xiaobai also noticed the solemn atmosphere and stared at Ao Chen closely. Finally, Ao Chen breathed out a breath, opened his eyes and said, "Brother. I feel so strong now." With a thought, a pair of butterfly wings appeared on her back, but the wings were extremely thin. That was because she had not absorbed any toxins yet. However, the poisonous powder itself can also produce toxins, which is equivalent to a weakened devil fruit ability. Yes, I'll help you exchange Reiju's battle suit, so that you can walk in the air even if you can't moonwalk. The combat suit of Germa 66 has good defense and provides the ability to stay in the air, which is very useful in the early and mid-term. The value of a large sharp knife is actually a bit low. Ao Xin exchanged the combat uniform, which was a pink cylinder, and handed it to Ao Chen. She pressed the button and put it on directly. Now in summer, she wears short sleeves, which is very convenient. Jumping down from the open window, she activated the suspension device of her combat suit, and her body stayed in the air. Wow, I can fly. She turned on the accelerator on her heels and ran into the distance with a bang. The excited girl was soaring in the sky like a happy bird, and she even flew far away to have a fight with a zombie. Ao Shin watched Ao Chen go away. This little girl wouldn't be able to come back for a while. He said to Xiao Bai, "You should also redeem the poisonous pink bloodline factor." Xiao Bai nodded cutely. He had never watched One Piece and didn't know what the blood factor was. He would do whatever Ao Shin said. Transfer the points to Xiao Bai, and soon Xiao Bai's body also entered a state of stiffness. But don't worry, this is a necessary step to merge the bloodlines. Xiao Bai was mingling here. He pushed open the door and went to his parents' room. Hey, the old couple were cuddling together and whispering. Ao Shin stood awkwardly at the door and knocked again. I saw you coming in. If you have anything to say, tell me. Ao Kong glanced unhappily. Ao Shin, well, it's very dangerous to have children now. Ao Kong, Zhang Hong, what did you say, brat? Ao Kong laughed and scolded. If you have anything to do, please tell me and don't affect my intimacy with your mother. Shows of affection between parents can be really fatal. Ao Shin hurriedly said, I transferred 1 million points to each of you. You exchange the poisonous powder blood factor. I bought the combat uniform for you. You can check it out on the ship later. It can increase a lot of combat effectiveness, force. There are 6 types of Gilma combat uniforms, each of which has both male and female styles. Invisible black can project the background onto the whole body to achieve an effect similar to invisibility. Gaji's battle suit is endowed with electromagnetic capabilities. The other 4 types are all made to enhance and assist the abilities of this bloodline. For example, the butterfly wings on the back of Reiju's battle suit can help store more poison. Otherwise, the poison in the body alone will be quickly exhausted in battle. Then, he transferred points to Lu Xiao, Meng Kui and Yuan Fei and asked them to exchange them for blood factors. He also bought Han Shuang a stealth black female combat uniform. She couldn't redeem her blood factor, so she didn't need the Reiju version of the battle suit, so her invisibility was naturally more important. Master, don't you still want me? When he gave Lu Xiao the combat uniform, the woman looked at him lovingly with her eyes. She and Ao Chen were in the same bedroom, and now Ao Chen went out in combat uniform and went crazy, so she had the chance to be alone with Ao Shin. Wow, even. A small head suddenly appeared at the door, and Ao Chen returned at some point. Brother, come on. Sister Xiao has already taken the initiative. Her face was full of excitement, and she didn't know what plot was happening in her mind. Ao Shin turned back and glared at her. She closed the door with a bang, and a voice came from outside the door. I understand. I won't affect you. My room is given to you today. I'll go find Xiao Bai. In the room, the atmosphere instantly became charming. You can't get pregnant in the early stages of the apocalypse. Ao Shin felt the fire rising in her body, but she still tried to suppress it. Lu Xiao turned around and took out a box from the bedside table. Ao Shin, where did you get the chewing gum? Lu Xiao said seriously. I thought the master might need it at any time. When I was fighting zombies, I came across a XX supplies store, so I brought back a few boxes so that there would be no danger. The corner of Ao Shin's mouth twitched. You are so thoughtful. ... Ao Kang's door was knocked again, and Ao Chen quietly walked into his parents' room and looked back suspiciously. Zhang Hong said helplessly, why are you here without sleeping? Ao Chen rubbed his hands in excitement and lowered his voice. My brother went to Sister Xiao's place. The old couple became excited immediately after hearing this. Really? Of course. I locked the door from the outside. Ao Chen excitedly asked for credit. Am I going to be an aunt? Ao Kong smiled and said, don't worry about your brother's affairs. Go to sleep. Xiao Xin said that you can't have children in the early days of the end of the world, and you can't be an aunt for the time being. Ao Chen was a little disappointed, suddenly rolled his eyes and said, I'll go listen. Ao Kong threw up a pillow and said, room. Ao Chen, who was about to slip away, changed positions with the pillow and came to their bedside. The girl blinked her big innocent eyes. Dad, what are you doing? Ao Kong patted her forehead lightly. Your brother is very perceptive. If you eavesdrop, you will be discovered. Don't ruin your brother's good deeds and go to bed. Ao Chen struggled and said, no. He can't find me if I escape. As he was about to transform, he was caught by Ao Kong. The old father and the old mother looked at each other, seeming to have reached some kind of tacit understanding. Ao Chen suddenly panicked. Dad, Mom, what are you going to do? I won't eavesdrop. But it's no use. A moment later, in Ao Shin's room, Ao Chen was sewn to the bed by Zhang Hong using her ability to sew fruits. Xiaobai squatted next to him and watched with a look of gloating on his face. Xiaobai, watch Xiaochen and don't let her run around. Xiaobai nodded hurriedly. I'm so sad about the debt. Ao Chen twisted wildly on the bed. Mom. I was wrong. This feels so uncomfortable. I need to pee. Zhang Hong remained unmoved. Wet the bed. Ao Chen said coquettishly. No. My brother will scold me. However, in exchange, Zhang Hong sewed the bed, floor and wall together again. After sewing, she felt relieved. Sleep well, and I'll let you out tomorrow. Ao Kong and Zhang Hong left with peace of mind. Ao Chen struggled for a while and saw that he could not get his parents to change their minds, so he had to stop struggling dejectedly. Suddenly, from the corner of her eye, she saw Xiaobai lying beside the bed and said in a gentle tone. Xiaobai, go listen to what my brother Xiao is doing, and come back and tell me. Xiaobai shook his head. No. Mommy, please look at you. Ao Chen, if I had known earlier, I wouldn't have told my parents. The next day, Ao Shin walked out of the room refreshed, with Lu Xiao behind him still blushing. Where is Xiaochen? When he walked to the living room, he saw no movement from Ao Chen. Instead, his parents put on the combat uniforms he exchanged for them and were getting ready to go out. After hearing his words, Zhang Hong finally realized, I almost forgot Xiaochen. He quickly opened the door of Ao Shin's room and saw Ao Chen staring at the ceiling with a look of despair. She had been awake for a while, but her body was sewn to the bed and she couldn't move at all. After Xiaobai woke up, he kept staring at her. It felt so good not to be touched by her. Why is Xiaochen sewn up? Ao Shin was stunned when she followed her parents into the room, and Lu Xiao behind her covered her mouth and started laughing. Brother, do you know how much sacrifice I have made for you? When Ao Chen heard them coming, his tone was full of resentment. After Zhang Hong stepped forward to release the fruit's power, the originally hopeless girl quickly got up, jumped in front of Ao Shin, and circled around him and Lu Xiao. Brother, were you and sister Xiao together last night? A pair of big eyes filled with the light of gossip, Ao Shin said lightly, from now on, you and Xiaobai will be in the same room. Wow, wow, the first sound was from Ao Chen, and the second sound was from Xiaobai. No, raise the silver, no. Well, I'll give you a few pieces. Xiaobai backed away in fear, his tiger eyes looked pitiful, like a kitten abandoned by its owner. But Ao Chen was happy. Whoa, 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 whoa. I can Xiaobai anytime from now on. Ao Shin said. Xiaochen, don't touch Xiaobai. You can chat with Xiaobai and correct his pronunciation. You can also give those textbooks to Xiaobai to teach him how to read. I know. The resentment of being sewn on the bed by my mother all night disappeared instantly. Oh no, it was transferred to Xiaobai. Going downstairs to the bank of the Yellow River, everyone starts a new day's work. Ao Chen and others naturally continued to lead people, while Ao Shin asked Xu Wen how to get 50 more steel water cages and prepared to continue catching water monsters. Boss, just as he was about to jump into the river, Meng Kui found him. There are many people secretly contacting us at Zhang Heng's place in the south of the city, saying they want to join us. Just add more and bring them over to work. Ao Shin didn't take it seriously, it didn't matter. But Meng Kui was a little confused. According to those people, Zhang Heng has not expressed his position for a long time. They found some other friends to contact us without telling Zhang Heng. Oh, Ao Shin still had an indifferent attitude. Just ask, come if you want, don't worry about Zhang Heng, don't care about these helpless people, just pull them in and do the work. Okay, I understand. Meng Kui led the people away. After stretching his body, he turned into a green dragon and jumped into the water. The body's weakness is even worse than yesterday, and the seafloor stone factor is quickly integrating into the river. We have to catch more water monsters while the concentration of the seafloor stone factor is not high. They won't be able to get in later. But 100 million points should be enough soon. When the time comes, I can exchange them for the magic potion and eliminate the side effects. I can still enter the water at will. Do you want to be shocked when the time comes? If you don't want to eat it, where can you get better fruits? After catching enough water monsters in this wave, I will take Ao Chen out again, not only to find more powerful zombies to fight, but also to find devil fruits. Although there are many ability users who have exploded, there are also many ability users who have died in battle, and their fruits will still be refreshed. After a busy day in the river, another 50 water cages were filled with water monsters that turned into crystal beasts. Ao Shin clapped his hands on the riverbank with satisfaction and fed a zombie to the big python. When the team that went out to fight the zombies returned with a second group of people willing to join him, Yuan Fei grabbed Shi Yu and came to him. Huh, what's wrong? Naturally, Yuan Fei couldn't defeat Shi Yu, but now it's just that Shi Yu didn't resist. Ao Shin was a little confused as to what Shi Yu had done to make Yuan Fei so angry. Boss, him, Yuan Fei was about to tell when he suddenly stopped and glared at Shi Yu fiercely. Speak for yourself. Shi Yu didn't dare to raise his head to look at Ao Shin, and muttered, Boss, I'm hiding something. What's the matter? Ao Shin really couldn't figure out what he could hide from himself and make Yuan Fei so concerned and angry. What's wrong with Brother Shido? Tang Yingying, who was assigned to Ao Chen's team, saw what was happening here and ran over quickly. Seeing Tang Yingying, Shi Yu took a deep breath and said bravely. After killing the 10th zombie, that is when the rules for earning points were changed, I got the reward of the God-given space. I have been hiding it and not telling you. Award. Ao Shin clearly knows that he has obtained it 3 times. Shi Yu surpassed the 3rd level and killed 10 fur corpses. It doesn't seem surprising to be able to trigger rewards. What reward? Shi Yu said. Choose one of 3 bloodline rewards. It's still a choice of 3, and Ao Shin is used to this setting. Bloodline. He suddenly remembered that in his previous life, there was a strong man who was rumored to have the ghost bloodline of Teacher Kai. However, no one knows how he obtained it, and there is no redemption option for the God-given space. Now it seems that it should be a God-given reward triggered after completing certain achievements. What bloodline? Hiding trump cards is something everyone does, and he is not surprised. Although Shi Yu, Luo Yi and others were loyal, he didn't expect much loyalty from these people. The blood of the giants, the blood of the ghosts, and the blood of the Lunaria. As Shi Yu said this, he took off his shirt. On his back was a pair of small black wings, as if they were new and had not yet grown up. As he thought, a blazing flame appeared behind him. I chose the Lunarian bloodline. Shi Yu lowered his head, not daring to look at Ao Shin. Concealing such an important matter shows that he has his own agenda, and in fact he does have his own agenda. Can Ao Shin tolerate this kind of thing? He does not know. Brother Shido, this is a good thing, why do you want to hide it? Wouldn't it be better to tell the boss earlier? Tang Yingying's voice made him raise his head cautiously, and when he saw Tang Yingying's nervous expression, he smiled bitterly. Tang Yingying also understood what Shi Yu's concealment meant, and quickly defended him. Boss, Brother Shido didn't mean to hide it. He waited for a long time. The girl was so anxious that she was sweating profusely, and she couldn't think of any suitable excuse. Ao Shin suddenly stepped forward and put his hand on Shi Yu's head. Shi Yu's heart skipped a beat and his legs trembled. Tang Yingying and Luo Yi were even more shocked and said quickly. Boss, Brother Shido was confused for a moment, he will definitely make amends. Boss, it was little Shitu's fault for hiding it from you, this kid is stupid. He didn't mean it. Luo Yi and Shi Yu got along well, and worried that Ao Shin would kill Shi Yu directly, he knelt down in front of Ao Shin with a plop and buried his head very low. Boss, I, Luo Yi, am willing to guarantee it with my life. If little Shido is unfaithful to you, I am willing to die to apologize. Boss, me too, Brother Shido didn't mean it. I am also willing to guarantee Brother Shido. Tang Yingying also knelt down, anxious in her heart. She looked at Ao Chen with pleading eyes. Relying on her cute appearance, cheerful personality, and special abilities, she was assigned to Ao Chen's team, and soon became close to Ao Chen. At this moment, they didn't know what Ao Shin was thinking, so they could only ask for help from Ao Chen, the only person who could persuade Ao Shin. But Ao Chen ignored her look. She believed in all the judgments made by her brother. Just when everyone was nervous, Ao Shin reached out and just touched the flame behind Shi Yu. The temperature was okay. But in front of him, that's it. The azure dragon physique, the strength of the giant force realm, and the invisible black blood factor increased his defense to an exaggerated degree. This little flame is nothing. He felt sorry in his heart. If he had known this earlier, he should have let Ao Chen kill the hairy corpse. This is the blood of the Lunaria tribe. As long as the flame is not turned off, the invincible defense can make his sister's survival ability reach a higher level. Even if it is turned off, with the extreme speed plus the speed of the duobao rat, almost no one can catch up with Ao Chen. It's a pity, however, Ao Chen's attack power is not good. Although it is a fantasy beast species, it is not as good as the lynx. Let her go to chop the hairy corpse, even if she is given a big knife, she may not be able to lift it. Taking his hand off Shi Yu's head, he said calmly, 2 people have guaranteed you with their lives. If you have any other intentions, you should know the consequences. Shi Yu's pants were soaked with cold sweat. He quickly said, I can only get my reward because of the boss. I dare not betray. Yes, Ao Shin said to Luo Yi and Tang Yingying, get up. You should have seen the Dragon King shop in the God-given space these days, and many people should be able to guess that the shop is opened by me. Everyone heard this and had an expression of, as expected, not surprised at all. The Dragon King shop is sold at a 99% discount, but as my subordinates, I will give you all a 95% discount, which is my employee benefit. After he said this, he left without saying much. After he left, everyone dared to talk quietly on the quiet bank of the Yellow River. I knew that the Dragon King shop must be opened by the boss. 95% off, it's right to join Boss Ao. Such a good benefit, only a fool will run away. And Boss Ao doesn't only recruit strong people, weak chickens like us can also get points by working for Boss Ao. In the end times, where else can we be so comfortable? That's right. Suddenly, someone pointed at Shi Yu fiercely and said, hey. Don't be ungrateful, kid. If you dare to betray Boss Ao, the girl you like, we will kill her with the fairy sword, and then kill her with the sword again. Shi Yu was furious. He couldn't tolerate anyone insulting Tang Yingying. Brother Shido, forget it. Tang Yingying hurriedly grabbed him. Ao Shin had just left. If he hurt someone here, it would be unacceptable. Say less. A middle-aged man with a beard pulled the young man who said the harsh words away. Although Shi Yu didn't dare to fart in front of Ao Shin, he was a capable person after all, and a capable person with a powerful bloodline. As long as he doesn't betray, he will be a high-ranking official under Ao Shin in the future. At that time, he can be assigned a mission to die, or be killed quietly with an excuse, and the boss won't know about it. Even if he is found out, what will happen? At most, he will be criticized. Chapter 91. But this scene caught Lin Tian's eyes. He touched his chin and thought for a moment, then followed the 2 people to their residence. Hello, he suddenly spoke, and the 2 of them turned around in shock. Brother Tian. Lin Tian is younger than them, but they know that in the apocalypse, the fist is the biggest, and as long as someone is stronger than themselves, Brother Sheng will never be wrong. Lin Tian came to An Qingnian and asked, what's your name? The young man pointed at himself, me. Lin Tian nodded. He said, my name is Ji Yu Chengfang, Brother Tian, just call me Zhaofang. He seemed to be older than Lin Tian, but his shamelessness made the middle-aged man feel ashamed. Lin Tian didn't care about this. Do you want to join my team? Ji Yu Chengfang was overjoyed when he heard this. Is it okay? Lin Tiandao. Of course, but my training is also very strict. If you can't bear it, I will kick you out to work on the construction site. No problem, Brother Tian. Ji Yu Chengfang immediately said, it's an honor for me to hang out with Brother Tian. Lin Tiandao. I will apply to the boss tomorrow to transfer you to my team. Quote. After saying that, he turned and left. Xiao Ji Yu, you have become rich. The middle-aged man looked at Ji Yu Chengfang with a bit of envy. Was he attracted by a strong man just because of one sentence? Ji Yu Chengfang's face was excited and he thought to himself, the bet is done. After Ao Shin returned home, she and Lu Xiao packed up and moved to the family upstairs. Otherwise it would be embarrassing if my parents heard me when I was happy. Ooh, you don't need wine for your silver. Xiaobai whined and hugged his legs, his big eyes full of reluctance. Ao Chen directly rode on Xiaobai's back, rubbed his ears and said, I want to move too. Mr. and Mrs. Ao Kong had no expressions about their brother and sister moving away. Since this building is empty, they can live wherever they want. Not to mention this building, even the building next door is empty. But for Ao Chen, a 16-year-old girl, moving upstairs is a freeing experience away from her parents. Ao Shin left her alone. Only Xiaobai was dissatisfied with this arrangement. Unfortunately, the protest was ineffective. 2 hours later, Ao Shin entered the sage's moment and entered the God-given space to restock his shop. At this time, he saw a message. The message comes from Li Wei. Brother Ao, you opened this Dragon King shop, right? Ao Shin replied, yes. Perhaps it was because it was already night and Li Wei had some time to relax. As soon as he finished replying, he immediately replied. I'm sorry, I knew it. As soon as I saw the name, I knew it was you, the pervert. How did you manage to open a shop in the God-given space? And why can you sell goods at a 99% discount? Can you teach me? Li Wei asked a series of questions, and asked for a way to open a shop with a big face. You want to eat shit. Ao Shin couldn't teach it even if he wanted to, and he didn't know if the same type of titles and certificate awards would still appear. Even if it appears, how to trigger it? This answer was as expected, and Li Wei didn't expect to get this method from Ao Shin. Even if this method can be copied, Ao Shin will definitely monopolize it to make huge profits. Well, since you can sell goods at a 99% discount, it means you can get the goods in the God-given space at a lower price. How about giving me a 20% discount? Ao Shin complained. Go to sleep, dreams can have anything. Li Wei is still not giving up. 81% discount is also fine. 82% discount, 90% discount, 95% discount, you won't even give me this face. Quote. Ao Shin was too lazy to pay attention to this guy. Am I familiar with you? Or do you have the face fruit? Besides, Ao Shin did not have the authority to give discounts to anyone. Even for his subordinates, he used points to exchange them in advance and handed them over to a special person for safekeeping, and then those people took the points to register and exchange them. Although it was a bit troublesome, in order to save even 1 point, these people were willing. After a long time, Li Wei finally gave up when he saw that he could not get any wool from Ao Shin. People are so annoying. I am still struggling for a few points, and you are already rich. It seems that you also exchange the invisible black blood factor. Quote. You have such a shop, and the magic potion is probably yours. I thought you could exchange one at most, and I still had a chance to fight for the other one. Now it seems that I have no chance of getting both. Quote. If I had known earlier, I would have sold this devil fruit a little more expensive, you dog-rich man. By the way, you are not short of points, when will you come to trade with me? Quote. Li Wei sent a lot of messages in one breath. Ao Shin replied after reading them, no hurry, I will find you after I finish my family's work. By the way, do you have any news about powerful devil fruits? A strong man like Li Wei is blessed with great luck. Maybe he can get other powerful devil fruits. He can't use them himself, so he either rewards his subordinates or sells them. He asked with a triad mentality. Li Wei said, no more. It's rare for me to find 3 fruits by myself. Where can I get more? But I do have some news. It depends on whether you dare to do it. Li Hui's words aroused Ao Shin's interest. Dare you? Is there anything you dare not do? Tell me. Li Wei smiled and said, hee, that information is also a kind of value. It's not too much to charge you 1 million points. Ao Shin sneered, are you crazy about points? I don't believe that you are the only one who knows this news. If you don't tell me, I will directly put up a reward and ask others. Quote. Hearing what Ao Shin said, Li Wei immediately became anxious. Okay, I'll tell you. 100,000 points should be enough. You have to pay something for posting a bounty, right? It's better to give it to me than to others. Ao Shin said, you can say it if you want. Quote. As he said, he entered the God-given network and began to look for information about the devil fruit. He didn't believe that this was Li Hui's exclusive secret. As the most important part of the first God-given, the news of the devil fruit is also the most concerned by everyone. This search also found a large number of people with abilities that were exposed. In addition to him and Li Wei, the most famous one is the female anchor in the Magic City whose online name was Yuzu before the end of the world. Her real name is Nan, and she is an animal-type flower fruit phantom beast flower fairy form. But her current situation is not good. Although the fruit ability is strong, it does not focus on its own strength, and the progress of domineering practice is very slow. Now, another strong man in the Magic City has found her and wants to practice with her. She is unwilling, but she can't beat him, and now she is running away in embarrassment. Ao Xin has an impression of that strong man, named Wu Shuang. In his previous life, he was one of the strong men in China second only to the Desert Emperor Li Wei. And Nan was finally caught by him and became one of his women. Wu Shuang, Animal Department Niu Fruit Phantom Beast Species Qilin Form. Kirin is based on deer and combines the characteristics of other beasts. Since giraffes are classified as oxen fruits, it is reasonable for unicorns to be classified as Oxenia fruits, although they are not in the same family. It can be seen from this that Oda really has no culture, and is Xiao a subordinate of lava. What nonsense. He dominates the southeast and is extremely powerful. The man who ate the green dragon fruit in his previous life was defeated by him. But among these videos, the most eye-catching one is the video of a dog. That was a red husky, or in other words, a husky whose whole body was burning with flames. Its heroic appearance in killing zombies is quite invincible. Unfortunately, due to its limited physical strength, it escaped after fighting for a while. Judging from the video, it is not very strong. It should have happened not long after eating the fruit. Although it is humane, it is also very unskilled in the use of God-given space. But what concerned Ao Xin the most was the young man next to the husky. That young man's yellow hair is very eye-catching. He is the young man whose online name is Mr. Gaobui Mao, from whom he once bought the thunder fruit. Is this guy not dead yet? Ao Xin was surprised. Moreover, you haven't heard anything from him in your previous life. However, he did know that a person with the ability to burn the burning fruit came out of Jizhou, but he didn't know where he obtained the fruit. However, no one bought this young man's thunder fruit in the previous life. After the end of the world began, he ate it, which made him become more powerful. It's a pity that he was too arrogant and exhausted his physical strength and was cut into pieces by zombies. Perhaps it was because he bought his thunder fruit that his destiny changed. The video was shot by Huang Mao himself, and he showed off while complaining. Who said that dogs don't eat xiao fruit? My dog ate it. You can let me eat it. Why did my dog eat it? There was a thunder fruit in front of me before, but unfortunately I didn't cherish it. Now there is a burning fruit, but it was eaten by a dog. It's Tesco's special day. Fortunately, my Dashachan recognized me as the master after eating the fruit, otherwise I would have died among the zombies. But Dashachan seemed to have mutated after eating the fruit. His handsome black and white hair turned into red hair, so he is now called Sakaski. Fortunately, the husky has grown bigger for some reason and is now running around carrying the little yellow fur. Xiao Wangmao proudly introduced himself. Ha 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 ha. Please remember me as the Knight of the Dog, no, it's the Knight of the Red Dog, Wei Mingxuan. I will eventually stand on the top, overlooking the world. Xiao saw, run, the zombies are coming. Tisk tisk. Ao Xin was amazed when he saw it, little yellow hair is so lucky. As expected, the comments below exploded. You must be eating shit like this. You are so lucky. He has a face that needs a beating. I really want to give him a fight with two big dicks. It's okay for meow people to rely on the power of dogs. Ooh, it's okay to give my dog a devil fruit, and I won't be so aggrieved. But this obviously wasn't the devil fruit news he needed, so he continued to scroll down. But at this point in time, the apocalypse had not yet begun, and many powerful ability users who had been revealed had high hopes from people, but many of them died tragically in the tide of corpses. Not many people can really make it to the end and stand at the top. Finally, after scrolling through the videos for a long time, he finally saw the clues he needed. This video was filmed in Beijing. Due to the appearance of martial corpses, the capital has almost become one of the most dangerous places in China. I don't know who filmed this video. Under the feet of Wuxi, there is a fruit that looks like a devil fruit. The unique curly lines and strange shape make many people excited. Everyone is afraid that the fruit will be crushed by Wuxi. There is almost only one way to snatch the fruit from Wu Shi's feet and get away safely. That is to rely on the elementalization of the natural system to avoid the attack of Wu Shi. At least, zombies at the level of 4-star Wu Shi do not have the ability similar to domineering, and cannot touch the body of the ability user. But the natural system is too rare. There are only a dozen in the whole world. Now China has appeared the sand fruit, thunder fruit and burning fruit. The owner of the burning fruit is a dog, and his strength is too weak. Even if he is elementalized, he can't run far. The thunder fruit is in Ao Chen's treasure space. Li Wei, who has the sand fruit, is unlikely to run all the way to Beijing for a devil fruit whose name he doesn't know. I think this is the news about the devil fruit that Li Wei mentioned. He doesn't recognize this fruit either. After all, no one would remember the appearance of the fruit, and no one would publish the appearance of the fruit they obtained. Forward the video to Li Wei. Is this the news you are talking about? Li Wei. Yes, can't you let me earn some points? I have so many points and I am still so stingy. Ao Shin was too lazy to listen to his beeping and ignored his reply directly. He searched for a while in the God-given network and confirmed that there was no other fruit news. Then, he posted a message in his Dragon King shop. I am Ao Shin, the owner of the Dragon King shop. Anyone who has devil fruits to sell or has relevant information about devil fruits can contact me. The price is negotiable. Although there is a piece of news about the fruit, after all, its true ability is unknown. Moreover, he needs more devil fruits to form a group of beasts. As soon as his message came out, it instantly set off the entire network. Ao Shin, the Dragon King shop is opened by a person. I thought it was something that came with the God-given space. How did this guy do it? Although I don't know how much he bought the goods, even if he only made 0.1% of each item, it would be enough for him to make a fortune. He will not lack points in the future. And judging from the amount of goods he put in the first time, he had tens of millions of points at the beginning. This is too terrifying. Soon, someone under Ao Shin saw it and proudly wanted to announce, I know this big guy, he is the user of the blue dragon fruit. He is my boss now. You buy things at a 99% discount, but our internal price is 95% off. As for his own identity and the internal 95% discount, he did not ask his subordinates to keep it secret. On the one hand, there are too many people who know it, and it can't be hidden. Even Li Wei can guess it, and it will be guessed by others in the future. On the other hand, it is unnecessary. Making a name can also attract more people to work for him. When expanding in the future, he doesn't even need to do anything. Just report the name and the enemy forces will automatically disintegrate. As for trouble, there will certainly be some trouble, such as someone trying to use force to force him to share these benefits. But this kind of trouble is not trouble, his strength is not afraid of anything. 95% off. You are too lucky. Sure enough, once the internal employees broke the news, it aroused the envy of others. Where are you, boss? I want to join you too. Boss, I am delicate and easy to push down, do you need me to warm your bed? I found out, someone said that you are from Biancheng. Biancheng is too far away, I can't go there, woo woo. Boss, please expand to our place. I will prepare food and drink to welcome the king's army. Ordinary survivors envy those who live in the same city as Ao Shin, because they can hold a golden thigh in their arms. But some powerful people saw other meanings in it. Ao Shin, Dragon King. Wu Shuang has left the magic city at this moment. Although he has formed some forces, he wants a Nan even more. Before the apocalypse, he liked this female anchor. Now that the apocalypse is over, he has also obtained extremely powerful devil fruit abilities, so he naturally wants to live as freely as he wants. But this woman is very alert. He has been chasing her for so long but has never caught her. HMPH, so what if you have more points? My strength is no worse than yours. I want to see when the time comes, whether your Qinglong is stronger or my Qilin. In the capital of the gods, on a high building near Luoshui, a slender woman was holding a white mask in her hands, lying on the bed and browsing the Dragon King store. Dragon King Ao Shin, Biancheng is not far from God. I will see you soon. The points will be left with you for now, but they will all be mine from now on. Then, she entered the God-given network and asked one of her subordinates, did you catch her? The subordinate seemed to be resting too. He immediately replied after seeing the message. Boss, she is very alert, and she is also a phantom beast. She has escaped after being chased several times. She was a little sulky. Trash. What I gave you is also a fantasy beast species. I also gave you so many points, and you can't even catch a woman, so what use do you have? Now your family gets the best care every day. If you fail to complete the task, you know the consequences. The subordinate hurriedly replied. Don't worry, boss. I will definitely catch her. At night, in a suburban wilderness, a pretty girl looked back and saw a zombie chasing behind her. Although she was fast, her strength was only at the bronze level. The zombie jumped up in a few steps, getting closer and closer to her. That hateful woman, she cursed under her breath, took a deep breath, and slowed down. Although she is a fantasy beast, her combat power is not particularly strong. Her abilities lie in other areas. Slowing down, she listened carefully to the voice in the back of her head. Because she had been avoiding pursuit, her knowledge and skills improved much faster than her weapon skills. The fishy wind is coming, which is the unique fishy smell of zombies. She suddenly squatted down and ducked under the zombie's crotch. Her strong and white calves suddenly exerted force, and she jumped more than 10 meters away. However, the zombie claws still tore the clothes on her back and scratched the skin under her down. Apparently her defenses weren't enough to withstand the zombie attacks. The zombie virus erodes into the body, and if it were someone else, it would turn into a corpse in the blink of an eye. But she was used to being hunted. A gleam of luster flashed across her back, and her skin healed instantly without leaving any scars. The zombie viruses that have entered the body are also purified by this luster. It seems that it is somewhat similar to the phoenix's resurrection Qingyan. She ran around in a panic, and far behind her, there was a young man chasing the traces she left behind. It smells like zombies. The young man frowned. She runs really fast. If we continue to chase her, she will leave you, Joe. But thinking of his family in the hands of that woman, he had to continue tracking the past. Fortunately, he is a phantom beast with a canine fruit and has a good sense of smell, otherwise it would be really easy to lose him. But after all, he is not a barking dog, and he has no hunting ability. Once the opponent is too far away from him, he will not be able to smell the trace of the opponent, so he can only continue to chase after a short rest. Biancheng. Ao Shin did not leave immediately. He wanted to catch as many water monsters as possible to cultivate crystals before leaving. The construction of safety bases on the banks of the Yellow River is also accelerating. As Ao Chen, Meng Kui and others continued to bring people from other places in Bian City and join the infrastructure construction army, the innermost foundation has been laid. A large amount of river sand was dug up by sand mining ships, and together with the building materials transported by Meng Kui from the building materials factory, it became the basic material. Zhang Heng, who was guarding the chemical plant in the south of the city, left his men behind and ran away alone after one night. His men felt lucky. Without Zhang Heng, they would not have to go behind the boss's back to contact the Aoshin forces, and now they have all been transferred to the bank of the Yellow River. Of course, in the process of constantly bringing people along, many people were still infected and killed by their companions. A month later, nearly 100,000 people had gathered here. These are all the survivors in Biancheng today. The gathering of the population has also caused zombies to begin to gather on the banks of the Yellow River, because this is the most popular place. The combat team no longer needs to go far away to kill zombies. Instead, they guard the banks of the Yellow River in front of the infrastructure team to block the zombies. At night, Tang Yingying lured the zombies away, and then used fragrant fruits to imitate the smell of zombies to cover up her popularity so that everyone could have a good sleep. In her previous life, the reason why she was able to become an important cadre under the powerful man in Chengdu was precisely because this ability was important in the early and mid-term. After a busy month, Ao Shin catalyzed a total of 2,000 crystal beasts. These crystal beasts are enough for the time being. Moreover, he had almost caught all the water monsters in the nearby Yellow River waters. If you want to catch it again, you have to go further. After killing the 10 crystal beasts, he gave the awakening crystal to Ao Chen for her to absorb. Brother, won't you absorb it? Ao Chen felt that it was a bit of a waste to absorb it now. Her ability did not add much to the battle. Even if the fruit was developed, it would not be of any benefit to the battle. Ao Shin said, I plan to go to the capital. You come with me. After your fruit ability is developed, the treasure storage space will be larger and you can bring more fresh water. When Ao Shin went to the provincial capital before, he relied on water from drinks and food to sustain himself throughout the journey. Occasionally you can find some fresh water from roadside shops or hotels, but most of the time, you are left with chapped lips. So this time he must go to Ao Chen and use Ao Chen's ability to look for other devil fruits. After Ao Chen knew that he was very useful, he absorbed 10 crystals. On average, each crystal core can increase her treasure storage space by 10 cubic meters. After 10 cores, her treasure storage space now has 120 cubic meters. But Ao Shin still felt it was not enough, so she simply killed 100 of them to increase her treasure storage space to 1,000 cubic meters, and then she was barely satisfied. He also collected buckets from various supermarkets and other places, filled them with fresh water, and stuffed them all into Ao Chen's treasure storage space. In addition to daily drinking, there is still a lot of fresh water they have distilled these days. But 1,000 cubic meters of equipment also completely depleted these reserves. Dad, Mom, Xiao, I will take Xiaochen and Xiaobai to the capital. You can continue to build and practice according to my previous plan. After he had a relationship with Lu Xiao, he now promoted her to the rank of family members and received treatment second only to his parents and sister. Don't worry, your father is here to watch over you. Ao Kong was in good spirits now. He was surprised to find that he had a good talent in domineering cultivation. After his physical body became stronger, his face and body became younger, and his words were full of confidence. Ao Chen's fruit ability has been developed through the awakening crystal. Not only has the treasure hiding space been greatly expanded, but his own perception range of treasures, as well as the depth and speed of escaping from the ground have been significantly improved. What surprised Ao Shin most was that Ao Chen's speed was improved again. Originally, her speed bonus was about twice that of phantom beasts of the same level, but now, it has reached 3 times. If this trend continues, by the time Ao Chen's fruit awakens, she will be one of the best just by virtue of her speed. Completely makes up for the lack of strength and defense. The two of them said goodbye to their parents and headed north. Along the way, Xiaobai was extremely happy. If Ao Chen didn't follow, he would be happier. The reason why Ao Shin wants to take Xiaobai with him is because Xiaobai has not known his master for a long time, and cats are notoriously ruthless. He was afraid that if he left, Xiaobai would be taught a bad lesson by others. In particular, today's novice experience is like a child, like a piece of white paper, which is the time when it is most likely to be stained. In order to save time, Ao Shin transformed into a green dragon, carried Ao Chen on his back, and grabbed Xiaobai, crossed the Yellow River, and headed north at high speed. Ouch! Being grabbed by Qinglong and looking down at the world, Xiaobai couldn't help but howl like a wolf, and Ao Shin almost staggered and threw him down. Shaking Xiaobai in his paw, he asked, "Why are you shouting?" Xiaobai replied with a cute look on his face, "Ah, Sister Chen taught me." His accent has been corrected now, but he has been taught some strange things. When Ao Chen heard this, he immediately denied it 3 times. I didn't, don't talk nonsense. Ao Shin was speechless. I can't let you live with Xiaobai anymore. I asked you to teach him how to read and write. What kind of nonsense did you teach him? When Ao Chen heard this, he shook his dragon horns. No. I want Xiaobai. I will teach him knowledge well. While they were playing around, Ao Chen suddenly looked shocked and said to Ao Shin, "Brother. Below, there is a treasure in the northwest." Upon hearing the treasure, Ao Shin immediately became energetic and flew in the direction pointed by Ao Chen. After the fruit's ability was further developed, Ao Chen's treasure hunting scope greatly increased. Otherwise, if they had not used the 101st level awakening crystals, they would never have discovered this devil fruit. Landing from the air, this is a deserted countryside. In the dense forest, there is a strange fruit with twisted lines growing at the root of a willow tree. There is no one here, and there are no zombies. If they hadn't passed by, I don't know how long this fruit would have been here before anyone discovered it. I pulled it out and checked it on the spot, and was a little disappointed. It is the Inu fruit Samoyed form. It's just an ordinary species of animals. Samoyed. Ao Shin looked at the fruit in his hand speechlessly, but thinking about the vice admiral in Dalmatian form, even though it was just an ordinary species, it wasn't too bad. Handing it to Ao Chen, they continued heading north. Without a map to navigate, Ao Shin relied entirely on his own feelings and experiences from previous lives to move forward. As he flew over a county town, a young man hiding on the roof of a tall building below happened to witness his departure. Qinglong, Wei Mingxuan scratched his yellow hair. When he ran away, he passed by a barber's shop and took out the hair dye and dyed his newly grown black hair yellow. Woof! The husky squatting next to him saw the green dragon flying by, and suddenly a surge of pride arose from within. Ouch! He looked up to the sky and howled. He was no longer an ordinary erha. His voice spread so widely that even Xiao Bai, who was being held by Qinglong and flying in the sky, heard his voice. Then, it echoed with a, ouch. It doesn't matter if Xiao Bai screams, they are flying anyway, and even if they attract zombies, they are not afraid with their strength. But it was different at Xiao Wangmao. Erha's voice directly pointed out the location of the zombies wandering downstairs. Xiao Wangmao, who had just rested for a while, heard the roar of the zombies downstairs. He was so startled that he stood up. Xiao Sa, what are you yelling about? Go quickly. Jump to the building next to you. He jumped on Xiao Sa's back, and the Akainu howled and ran towards the edge of the roof. When he reached the edge, he jumped hard and jumped to the top of the tall building next door. It is too troublesome to carry the burden of the little yellow hair, otherwise it will become an element on its own and be able to fly. What is Mr. Qinglong doing here? Wei Mingxuan suddenly thought of a possibility. Big brother Qinglong asked about devil fruit before. Isn't he going to challenge the boss? That thing is not something that anyone can mess with. I heard that America also had one of these things. 7 ability users surrounded her, but she was instantly destroyed. While escaping, he took a picture of Qinglong passing by and uploaded it to the Godsend network. Shocked, the Qinglong boss from Biancheng is flying north, and he is suspected of challenging the zombie boss in the capital. Tisk tisk, Wei Mingxuan looked at the video he posted with satisfaction, and suddenly thought, if I take a picture of the big boss fighting, it will definitely become popular. As for why he likes to be in the limelight so much, it's because more and more people are discovering that after posting videos to the God-given space, they can get corresponding points based on the number of views. Although these points are very few, even if there is a big fire, the points obtained are limited, but after all, it is a gain without taking risks. In the previous life, at the late stage of the first God's gift, some people once speculated that the function of the God's gift space might be to encourage the exchange of information between various places. It's a pity that there are always people who make some messy things to make them popular just for the sake of gimmicks. Xiao Sa, let's go to the capital too. He sat down and sat down. Xiao Sa carried him up and down on the roof of the building, looking at Qinglong's back as he receded. What about the person who bought my thunder fruit? How come I've never heard anything about him? Wei Mingxuan could never forget that he once had a thunder fruit but sold it for $1,000. The rarest natural type. Logically speaking, that person should make some name for himself. He was puzzled as to why he had never heard of anyone with the thunder fruit ability. When the Qinglong figure in his field of vision became farther and farther away, he suddenly realized something was wrong. Boss Qinglong seems to have gone astray. Isn't he going to the capital? After struggling with Xiao Sa for a long time, he decided to head towards the capital first. Maybe the boss just had something to do and took a detour. His guess was correct. Ao Shin did take a detour for something else. Just when he was about to fly away from this county, Ao Chen suddenly discovered traces of treasures again, and there were 2 more. Brother, there is another treasure. 2 more. It's just that one is in the northwest and the other is directly ahead. Where should we go first? Ao Shin decided to go to the northwest first, and he could pick up another one along the way. When the clouds descend, this place is still a desert with no human habitation. Xiao Bai was happily playing on the ground, and Ao Chen went straight to the location where the treasure was detected. Roar! Suddenly, a tiger roared in the forest. Xiao Bai, who was having fun, immediately pricked up his ears. After carefully identifying the direction, he jumped straight into the forest. Where did the tiger come from? Ao Shin was confused, but followed him. When he arrived, he found that Xiao Bai was already fighting with a tiger surrounded by crystals. It's a crystal beast. And unlike alien species like Han Shuang, this type of normal crystal beast has more violent combat power. Roar! The crystal beast tiger roared angrily, and the crystals on his body actually burned. Ao Shen was shocked. This crystal beast seemed to be of a high level. Crystal burning is a power only possessed by level 4 crystal beasts. The flames appear a strange purple color, and can even directly ignite the ominous aura on the corpse. But this kind of flame is ineffective against normal creatures. It is not a real burning flame, but a kind of magic, a kind of flame called amethyst magic flame. However, even if the flames cannot burn living things, this burning flame can also enhance the power of the crystal beast itself. Xiaobai has now transformed into a beastman form. Like thunderbolts leaping around his body, he waves his tiger claws and hits the crystal beast. Crystal beast, human, zombie, creature. There is a vague relationship of restraint between them. The amethyst magic flame of the crystal beast can ignite the ominous appearance of high-level zombies, and the zombie virus is the core force of their evolution. The zombie virus is extremely contagious to living things. Once a living creature is scratched by a zombie, it will turn into a corpse almost immediately. Moreover, zombies need organisms as new virus petri dishes to promote their own evolution. As for the three-color domineering creature learned in the God-given space, at a high stage, Liang has a good destructive effect on the crystal beast crystals, and Ba Tang can directly damage the brain crystals of the crystal beasts. Furthermore, ability users need the brain crystals of crystal beasts to accelerate the development and awakening of fruit abilities. Crystal beasts and zombies have no intelligence in the early stage, which is their flaw. But their evolution speed is faster, which is their advantage. In the previous life, these three later stood up as a tripartite in Blue Star, and no one could destroy the other. At least when Ao Shen lived to the second god's gift, this was still the situation. Xiaobai's domineering talent is extremely high, and he is already in the Iron Bone realm at this time. According to Ao Shen's estimation, besides himself, Xiaobai should be the first creature to enter the Iron Bone realm. Coupled with the beast's fighting talent, stronger physical talent, and the exoskeleton given by the bloodline factor, he was able to defeat the 4th-level crystal beast with his 2nd-level strength without losing immediately. Roar! Xiaobai roared angrily. Although he could turn into a human and speak human language, he was still accustomed to tiger roars during battles. How could human roars be as powerful as tigers? A pair of sharp claws cover the armor color, and his finger gun is also mixed with the power of Thunderbolt. With this finger, even the iron pillar was about to be pierced, but the crystal beast tiger blocked it with the crystals on its claws. Roar! The crystal beast is also roaring, and others stand up. After the crystal beast has been alienated, it has long ceased to belong to the original biological category. Its crystal skeleton has created a posture more suitable for fighting. Clang! The tiger's claws collided with each other, causing sparks to appear from the friction. Xiaobai suddenly grabbed the crystal beast's tiger palm, but his strength was far less than the opponent's, and his arms were instantly pressed down by the huge force. But this was his plan. The third eye on his forehead opened, and rich thunderbolt energy gathered in it. With a crackling sound, the flame beam surrounded by lightning hit the crystal beast's head directly. But the crystal beast didn't panic, and an extremely thick crystal instantly appeared on his forehead. The crystals continued to shatter under the thunderbolt fire, but his crystals were too thick. When the energy of the thunderbolt rays was exhausted, the crystalline defense shield on the crystal beast's forehead was still thin. But Xiaobai's attack was all in, and his whole body's strength had been exhausted. His arms went limp and were almost broken by the crystal beast. Master, save me! All the moves were used, but the stalemate was only for a short time. Xiaobai gave in decisively and asked Ao Shen for help. Before he finished speaking, a steel whip was seen falling, and the crystal beast had to turn around to resist. Clang! There was a loud noise, and the crystal beast was knocked back by the whip. Xiaobai took advantage of this gap and retreated quickly. After escaping from the attack range of the crystal beast, he no longer had the strength to maintain his orc form. He transformed into the white tiger again and collapsed on the ground, gasping for air. Noob! At this moment, Ao Chen had already picked off the devil fruit and returned. She heard the sound of fighting in the distance, and she quickly transformed into a multi-talented rat and ran over. After realizing that Ao Shin could suppress the crystal beast, she emerged from the ground. The little girl is very smart. It's okay to be weak. She must not be a drag on her brother. After carefully checking Xiao Bai's body, fortunately he was not injured, just exhausted. Xiao Bai, I will definitely kill that crystal beast. She sat next to Xiao Bai and watched the battle from a distance. Yeah, Master will definitely win. Xiao Bai has great confidence in Ao Shin's strength, or in other words, he has an inexplicable admiration for Ao Shin's strength. I feel that Ao Shin is the strongest in the world. Can Ao Shin win? Naturally, we can win. Because he suppressed the crystal beast without even using his human animal form. The strength of the giant power realm, the physique strengthened by the blue dragon, and the super strong exoskeleton provided by the invisible black blood factor. That is to say, the blood factor has not yet fully awakened. Otherwise, he could easily kill this crystal beast with just his physical strength. The steel whip fell, and the crystals on the crystal beast's arms became fragile after enduring several heavy blows. There are faint cracks in it. Roar! The crystal beast roared, and the flames on its body became even brighter. He is activating the power in his body with all his strength, and the crystals are burning faster, making his power more violent, but the duration is also shorter. Ao Shin's fingers were hardened by the weapon color, and he used his finger gun to continuously attack the crystal beast's throat and chest. As for his legs, he also used Lan's feet alternately. Although his Lan Ko/attack is not strong, the attack power is also extremely strong when he uses the force of his Lan kick to directly kick the crystal beast's legs. He is not in a hurry to kill, the current battle is just for training. But Crystal Beast is very anxious. Although he is no longer the fierce tiger he once was, and he has no intelligence, his basic sense of life and death crisis is still better than that of low-level zombies. Crystal beasts are not as fearless as zombies. However, the more urgent it was, the more flaws it had in its attacks. Ao Shin responded calmly, using a steel whip, a five-finger finger gun, and legs and feet, constantly using the attack moves he had mastered. Roar! The crystal beast suddenly became violent, its middle door opened wide, and its claws stabbed towards Ao Shin's chest. It was this attack that led to its defeat. Shave! Moving as fast as teleportation, Ao Shin came to the back of it, raised the steel whip and hit it on the head. Pong! The skull cracked and the crystals in its brain trembled. In order to protect the crystal from being destroyed by himself, Ao Shin could only attack from another place. Suddenly, the flames on the surface of the crystal beast burned more fiercely, and its power and speed also became stronger again. Clang! The arm wrapped in crystal blocked the steel whip, and the crystal beast opened its crystallized teeth to bite Ao Shin. Haha, what a small trick. The fist turned black, the color of the weapon was hardened, and he punched the crystal beast in the jaw. But this time, Ao Shin took a step back. He is already extremely powerful when he can suppress a 4th-level crystal beast at the 3rd level with his physical strength alone, but the crystal beast that accelerates the burning of crystal flames is still stronger than him. However, these are just some. The powerful exoskeleton given by his bloodline factor makes his body also like a King Kong. He could have fought to consume the crystal flames of the crystal beast, but in order to temper himself, he faced it with all his strength. The two sides collided fiercely, and Ao Shin was like a humanoid beast, using the strongest means to extinguish the amethyst demonic flames. The purple flame went out, which meant that the power of the crystal beast was completely exhausted. The steel whip fell, and he could no longer resist it. Boom! The crystal beast's facial bones were shattered. Even the crystallized and extremely hard bones could not withstand the heavy blow of the steel whip. In order not to destroy the brain crystals, Ao Shin broke open the crystal beast's cheekbones from below. The brain pulp had been assimilated into a viscous liquid by him, and a crystal was suspended in the liquid. He reached out and took it out. Although it was disgusting, he was used to it. This crystal was larger than anything he had ever seen before. The tiger-shaped crystal beast, is it that one? Ao Shin shook off the mucus on his hand and placed the crystal in his palm. The black-scaled giant python is fed enough zombies by himself every day, and now it is only at the 3rd level. This tiger has grown to the 4th level on its own. In the previous life, there was indeed a tiger-shaped crystal beast that appeared in Jizhou, and it grew at an alarming rate. In the memory, it seemed that it tried to hunt down the martial corpse in the capital, but ended up being seriously injured and escaped. Later, when he appeared again, he was already in Bingzhou. Li Wei was chased and killed miserably by him. After that, there was no news. There was a high probability that he met a strong enemy and died. It should be that end. Ao Xin came to Xiaobai and sat down cross-legged. Let's go after I absorb this crystal. The 4th level awakening crystal should make his fruit ability greatly improve, right? Xiaobai and Ao Chen sat on both sides of his body, helping him to monitor the surrounding movements. In the palm of his hand, thoughts flowed through, and a special energy flowed into his body, and combined with the ability of the devil fruit, urging the fruit's ability to go further. The phantom of the blue dragon hovers in the body, and the blood flow speeds up. In the blood vessels, the temperature of the blood became hotter and hotter, steaming like a flame, and strong winds swept through, scraping away the impurities adhering to the walls of the blood vessels. There was a faint sound of thunder, and Ao Chen and Xiaobai could see arcs of electricity passing over his body. Under the skin, cyan dragon scales faintly emerged, and his physical strength was further strengthened. After sitting cross-legged for a long time, he just opened his eyes, and a ray of light flashed through him. He clenched his fist, and his physical body became stronger. Have you identified that fruit? After absorbing the 4th order crystal power, Ao Xin asked Ao Chen. Not yet. Don't you have a 20% discount? It would be more cost-effective for you to come and appraise it. Ao Chen took the fruit out of the treasure space and handed it to Ao Xin. The identification results disappointed him. Brother, what kind of fruit is it? Ao Chen asked. Xiaobai also had a curious expression on his face. He now knew what a devil fruit was and the magic power it possessed. It was because of this magical fruit that he could become a human. Animal-type Canis fruit Alaskan form. Ao Xin sighed. Was he in the doghouse? I just got a dog fruit in the form of a Samoyed, and now I have an Alaskan fruit. Does the talking Dubao rat have a lucky bonus? Return the fruit to Ao Chen and consider how to use it later. Walk. He rose up into a dragon, carried Ao Chen on his back, grabbed Xiaobai, and flew straight into the sky. His body has not grown much longer, but the power in his body has become more powerful. The former 100-meter blue dragon was nothing more than an illusion, but now he truly has the power he deserves. The green dragon is not a dragon, it is the 4 spirits of heaven, Lord Mengjiang. Teacher Kai is far from showing Qinglong's strongest strength. Brother, over there. Ao Chen showed the way for Ao Xin. She had discovered 2 devil fruits before. After picking them here, she was now going to another place. No, the treasure sensor is missing. Not long after taking off, I heard Ao Chen shouting anxiously, Brother, the fruit may have been eaten by someone else. The 2 fruits she sensed were not in the city. She thought that the probability of being discovered and eaten in such a short period of time was low, but it still happened. On their way forward, a young man with yellow hair and a red husky threw away a bitten fruit and laughed with a distorted face. Wahahaha, I am Wei Mingxuan until God dies. I also have a devil fruit. The sky is dead, and the yellow hair is standing. This world is mine. Chuji's words spread far away, and he was very proud. So what if I sold the thunder fruit? So what if the burning fruit was eaten by a dog? I can still get my own devil fruit. What is this called? This is the halo of the protagonist. The end of the world. I must be the protagonist of the end of the world. Let me see, what is my ability? It must be natural. Just as he closed his eyes and felt the power within his body, a deep voice came from behind. Is it you? Xiao Wangmao hurriedly opened his eyes, and the little saw beside him was already wagging his tail at Ao Xin, with such a flattering look on his face that Xiao Wangmao was stunned. But when he saw Ao Xin's face clearly, he immediately exclaimed, It's you. He and Ao Xin shouted the same words. You are the one who bought my thunder fruit. Give me back the fruit. Xiao Sa, come on. Bite him. However, when I lowered my head, I found that Xiao Sa was sitting obediently next to Ao Xin's legs, rubbing Ao Xin's trouser legs, with a silly look on his face, as if Ao Xin was its owner. Xiao Sa, I am your master. Bite him. Burn him. Xiao Wangmao was furious. Why did his Dashachan rebel? As a result, what responded to his roar was Xiao San's contemptuous eyes and a disdainful bark. For some reason, he was suddenly able to understand Xiao Sa's cry, which was clearly saying, Idiot, I'm not stupid, why don't you do it? Erha is not really too. In Xiao Sa's eyes, the power of the dragon and the power of the tiger will scare it to the point of peeing. That stupid master clearly wanted to kill his own unruly people. Isn't it just a tiger? You are the marshal of the navy. Why are you so cowardly? Xiao Wangmeo's anger triggered the power in his body, powerful power surged out, and his body was also undergoing drastic changes. In Xiao Sa's surprised eyes, his master is quickly becoming himself. That handsome appearance is exactly the same as before. His hair turned red. It was dumbfounded with its dog eyes, and saw that it had turned into its own master, and it rushed towards the big man next to it without knowing the heights and heights of the situation. Woof. The only thing that is different from Xiao Sa's original appearance is that the little yellow hair has turned into a beast shape, and there is still a tuft of yellow hair on the top of his head. He didn't know why he barked, but he felt that his power was much stronger now than before. His self-confidence immediately exploded. Is this what it feels like to be strong? Die. He jumped up and pounced on the young man in front of him who bought his thunder fruit. However, he was easily pinched by the throat. Ao Shin pinched his neck and held it in his hand, canine fruit husky form. As he said that, he lowered his head and glanced at the red-haired husky squatting next to his legs to please him. These two guys are twin brothers. Moreover, after getting the Samoyed form, Alaskan form, and husky form one after another, do you have to collect the 3 sled fools by yourself? Oh no, the husky form has been eaten by this little yellow fur. Brother, I was wrong, brother, please spare my life. The moment his neck was pinched, Xiao Wangmao woke up. No wonder Xiao Sa was so cowardly. It turned out that this was the boss. What a fool for not reminding myself. He also gave in immediately. Brother, I'm convinced. You are the protagonist of this world. Please give me a chance to follow you. Grass. I got 2 nature type ones in a row, neither of them my own, and the third one turned out to be in the form of a husky. Xiao Wangmao complained in his heart, it seems that there is no chance of being the protagonist, but this boss is really strong, it might be good to follow him. Moreover, he easily controlled himself without even using the ability of the thunder fruit, which shows that his domineering strength is far beyond his imagination. Ao Shin threw Xiao Wangmao to the ground. He covered his neck and gasped rapidly. He almost thought he was going to be strangled to death. After taking a few breaths, he hurriedly crawled to Ao Shin. Brother. My name is Wei Mingxuan, and I am willing to be your little brother. And my little Sasha, he will definitely be able to help you after eating the Xiao Xiao fruit. He dropped out of junior high school before graduating from junior high school and worked in the society. He understood the ways of the world very well, and several big brothers in society praised him for his future. Ao Shin still didn't speak, but Xiaobai came up curiously and sniffed around him. When he saw Xiaobai before, he didn't take it seriously. He had seen powerful zombies before, but it was just a tiger. How could it be stronger than a zombie? But when Xiaobai walked up to him, the faint pressure made his legs weak. Sure enough, he could be taken by the big boss. How could this tiger be useless? And what does the boss mean? Why don't you speak? Why do you let this tiger circle around you? Are you going to eat yourself? Ao Shin was thinking about what to do with this little yellow hair. I thought he was a little person who died in the zombie wave, but he got devil fruits one after another and seemed to be living better and better. His destiny has changed, and his luck seems to have improved. Luck, is there such a thing as luck? He does not know. However, according to the settings of some online articles, collecting these lucky people will also improve the luck of the entire force. Keep it for now and let Mang Kui and the others train it later. Get up. After thinking about it, he decided to accept Xiao Wangmao. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I, Wei Mingxuan, will not let you down. Xiao Wangmao was overjoyed and said to Xiaobai anxiously, Hey, brother tiger, can you please surround me? I'm afraid. Xiaobai snorted disdainfully. Coward. Xiao Wangmao was shocked at that time. Talk. The tiger has spoken. That is to say, even the pets I bring have eaten shishao fruits, so the pets brought by the boss will be stronger no matter what. Woof. Another dog bark came, and he was furious. That was Xiao Sa's cry. Since eating the husky fruit, he seems to be able to understand Xiao Sa's cry. This bark clearly means, coward. My God, you are a coward faster than I am. How can you have the nerve to call me a coward? But when he saw Xiao Sa squatting under Ao Shin's legs, looking like a loyal idiot of Ao Shin, he was so angry that his teeth itched. HMPH. Isn't it just wagging the tail? I can do it too. Instantly transforming into beast form, he wagged his tail and tried to rub Ao Shin's trouser legs. Roll. Ao Shin kicked him out. This guy gave him a chill. Ooh, big brother, I am also your loyal dog. Xiao Wangmao ran over again wagging his tail. When he saw Ao Shin raising his leg again, he quickly backed away. Brother, don't kick me. I can't pass. Be normal and I'll beat you up again. Ao Shin's warning made Xiao Wangmao not dare to get close. He rolled his eyes and noticed Ao Chen, who had been following Ao Shin. Miss, do you want a dog? Go away. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll break your legs. Ao Chen also gave him the word, go, without being polite. Despondently, Xiao Wangmao turned back to his human form and asked Ao Shin carefully, hey, brother, can I know your name? Why haven't you heard anything about people with thunder fruit abilities? Ao Shin said, my name is Ao Shin, you should have heard of this name. Ao Shin. Xiao Wangmao's mouth opened to its maximum in an instant. Boss Qinglong. You're making a lot of money. Boss, can I also buy things at a 50% discount? Ao Shin nodded, I'm going to the capital, you can go to Biancheng and wait for me. Xiao Wangmao said, brother, are you going to kill that boss? Ao Shin said, yes, the 4th level warrior corpse is a good training opponent, and the devil fruit there is also just right to capture. Brother, I'm going too. Xiao Wangmao said, don't worry about me. I have Xiao Sa, and now I also have devil fruit, so there is no problem in escaping. Moreover, if I go and take pictures of Big Brother's heroic appearance in battle, more people will admire him. He was still thinking about the points he would get as a result of his viral video. Ao Shin could tell his thoughts at a glance. In the end of the world, if you don't dare to fight, even if you have hundreds of millions of points, you will still be useless. It is useless to rely on some crooked ways. You are too weak. If you follow me, you will only be held back. Take Xiao Sa to Bian City. Being able to successfully reach Bian City is a testament to your strength. After that, he turned into a green dragon, carried Ao Chen on his back, grabbed Xiao Bai, and flew into the sky again. In place, the confused little yellow-haired Wei Mingxuan and the red dog Sakaski were left behind. Brother, I don't know the way. But Ao Shin was already far away, and his shouts echoed in the wilderness. He said to Xiao Sa in frustration, Xiao Sa, do you know the way to Biancheng? Wow, my stupid master, I have never been to Biancheng. Xiao Wangmao. Your special meow has scolded me a lot before, right? Woof. Entering the capital, Ao Shin lowered his head and put Ao Chen and Xiao Bai down. Although there are few people here, the powerful zombies catalyzed have not spread outside, so it is very suitable for training. Ao Chen took out fresh water from the treasure space, and Ao Shin exchanged the seafood fried rice for Ao Chen, and 2 big cocks for herself and Xiao Bai. The 3 of them found a room and went in to have a big meal. After finishing the meal, Ao Shin went into the Dragon King store to replenish the goods, and then said to Ao Chen, Xiaochen, I'll exchange it for you for a big sharp knife. Which one do you want? If you don't like it, what kind of one do you want to customize? He has enough points, so of course he wants to upgrade all the equipment for his relatives. It's not that he is unwilling to exchange the supreme sharp sword for Ao Chen, but because here, the higher the level, the heavier the weapon is. It is too difficult for Ao Chen to use the supreme sharp sword with his strength. Originally it was very difficult for her to use the sword, but after acquiring the poisonous pink bloodline factor, her strength increased greatly, and she was able to use weapons of the sword level. Ao Chen thought for a moment and said, I want to be on the same page as Dao. This knife is quite beautiful. Ao Shin redeemed it, and the snow-white knife was indeed the favorite of many girls. Give. Xiao Bai, you should also practice weapons. It would be too disadvantageous to only use claws. In One Piece, there are very few strong people who do not use weapons. The 4 emperors are all great swordsmen. Kaido's mace also has the ability to use weapons that is not inferior to the great swordsman. The 3 admirals of the navy appear to be unarmed, but Kizaru has the light-formed Amazon cloud sword, and Kuzan can also use ice blades and ice spears. Akainu doesn't seem to use weapons, but he always carried a long sword when he was young. He must also have strong swordsmanship. Only a few people such as Sengoku Garp actually use two fists to fight. After many days of Ao Shin's persuasion, Xiaobai finally decided to choose a weapon to practice with. I don't understand, I will use whatever the master tells me to use. Ao Shin exchanged him for a Tian Yu Zan. Swords are the choice of most people, so he also asked Xiaobai to try swords first. With the weapon, it was not convenient for Xiaobai to use his body all the time. He had to transform into a human animal form and hang Tian Yu Zan on his waist. This is also one of Ao Shin's purposes, to make him more familiar and accustomed to the human form, and to try to get rid of his original animal nature. Boom! While he was talking, the door to the room was knocked open by a corpse. Xiaobai pulled out Tian Yu Zan and killed it with a single slash. This refreshing feeling made Xiaobai fall in love with weapons instantly. Master, using weapons is really more convenient than claws. As the first flesh corpse hit, more and more zombies swarmed in. They had not seen any living beings for a long time. Ao Chen and Xiaobai immediately drew their swords and faced him. Ao Shin did not take action. The level of these zombies was not high, and most of them were flesh corpses. Occasionally, two zombies would come over, just for the two of them to practice. Ao Chen's talent for seeing and hearing is stronger, and combined with her speed, she mainly fights and wanders in the zombie wave. Xiaobai is obviously a tough guy. He is more talented in armed colors. He holds a knife in one hand and a finger gun with a tiger claw in the other, and he fights in the zombies. Between the fruit ability and the blood factor, both of them are extremely powerful. They were fighting and advancing on the streets. After the capital city was severely damaged, the survivors had been gathered together by several powerful ability users. There was not a single person for several kilometers around here. Roar! A dull roar came from the distance. It was the furry corpse that was attracted to them. Sister Chen, I'll leave the zombies to you, I'll kill the fur zombies. Xiaobai shouted and went straight to Mao Ji. He has reached the Iron Bone realm and is much stronger than Ao Chen. These zombies are no match for him. Tian Yu slashed across the body of a corpse, cutting it into two ends from the shoulder to the waist. Ignoring the half-parted flesh corpse squirming on the ground, Xiaobai had already collided with the fur corpse. In the red hair, there was an ominous glow, and the thunderbolt fire on Xiaobai's body crackled. This is the divine power of the spiritual official, which can drive away evil spirits and eliminate disasters. The thunderbolt dispelled the ominous situation, the steel knife slashed down, and the skin of the hairy corpse was cut open by an inch. The tiger's claws reached forward, and the finger gun covered in armed color was pointed at the head of the corpse. Xiaobai was more than 3 meters tall, and the hairy corpse only reached his chest. On the other side, Ao Chen fought 3 zombies alone. She activated the Germa battle suit to add another layer of defense to herself. She also used the ability of the battle suit to fly into the sky and fight against the 3 zombies in full swing. Ao Shin watched the battle quietly, occasionally knocking to death a few zombies that had no eyes and insisted on approaching him. He was pleased with Ao Chen's growth. In just over 2 months since the end of the world, the little girl had completely adapted to this fighting environment. Xiaobai didn't have to worry about it. The apocalypse had inspired the hunting instinct hidden in the tiger's blood, and Xiaobai was very violent when he entered the fighting state. Brother, help me, I have no strength. After fighting for a long time, Ao Chen gasped for help and flew to his side, turning into a palm-sized dormouse and hiding on his shoulder to rest. Wouldn't it be safer for you to escape to the ground to rest? Ao Shin was talking to the little mouse on her shoulder while killing the zombies that rushed over one after another. It's so boring underground, I want to watch Xiaobai fight. The little mouse's furry body rubbed against Ao Shin's cheek. Besides, with my brother protecting me, I am definitely safer than underground. What if there are some monsters with weird abilities underground? Xiaobai's battle feels so strange. She looked at Xiaobai who was fighting with the hairy corpse. Although Xiaobai dealt with it with ease, she always felt something was strange. Ao Shin understood the problem and explained to her. Xiaobai doesn't know how to use a knife, but his fighting instinct is very strong and he is using the weapon in his hand according to his own understanding, so you will find it very strange. Ao Shin, who has experienced the past life, knows that what Xiaobai uses is not the sword technique, but the killing method. The knife, not the Tao, is just a tool in their hands. No matter what weapon is in the hands of people like him, it will quickly become a tool for killing. Don't know. Ao Chen didn't understand. She thought a knife was just a knife. How could it be so complicated? Is the new knife easy to use? Ao Shen will not continue to explain. It is useless to explain this thing. As her strength increases, she will naturally understand it. When you first get any weapon, there is a running-in period to get familiar with its weight, its center of gravity, its grip, its cutting feel, etc. Even which position is more comfortable for chopping will slowly become a muscle memory. When it becomes more and more comfortable to use, it is what people call the integration of man and knife. Good. Ao Chen didn't think much about it, he just felt that the sword was worthy of being a sword, and it was much more efficient at killing zombies than before. When Ao Chen recovered his physical strength, he jumped off Ao Shen's shoulder and joined the battle again. There are more and more zombies around. I don't know what level of firepower the military has used here. The intensity of the zombies is more than that of Biancheng. Here, there are almost no ordinary zombies without star rating, and at last they are 1-star flesh corpses. For ordinary creatures, it is a disaster. Meow. A group of fleshy corpses transformed from stray cats jumped up. They are more agile than human zombies. Cat claws are also sharper than human zombies. However, due to their small size, their strength and defense are somewhat inferior. Woof. There are also many zombies transformed by stray dogs. Ordinary pet dogs are the worst, but some fierce dogs are no less dangerous than humanoid zombies. Ao Chen is not afraid of the zombie cat's speed, because she is faster. With the help of Germa's battle suit, she can fly into the sky when in danger. Ao Shen was not in a hurry to rush to Wuxi. Instead, he accompanied Xiaobai and his sister to slowly advance forward. But he was not idle either. Before another replenishment, he left 1 million points to exchange for Teacher Kai's Combat Skills Gift Pack. Thunder Bagua, Roaring Thunder Bagua, Great Power Thunder Bagua, Zhong Sanchi Yinai Luo, Vajra Dynasty, Dragon Dali Long Shungjin, and so on. A dozen combat skills only cost 1 million, which is absolutely worth every penny. What he most wanted to practice first was Teacher Kai's famous skill, Thunder Bagua. Although he often imitates Thunder Bagua by using current-wrapped weapons, the two are not the same. Thunder Bagua is a fusion of Bawang's color entanglement technique and Teacher Kai's power-generating method. However, even if he has the talent of a domineering genius, the intensity of his domineering color is still not enough. The prerequisite for using Ba Tang is a powerful Bawang color. Therefore, he chose to practice King Kong Dysprosium first. Originally, when Ao Shen watched the anime, he thought this move was also a domination, but now he found that it was not, or in other words, not entirely the case. This move can create a pillar of energy, which is similar to the sword energy used by swordsmen. The key points of its use are to swing out the stick energy and wrap the overlord color around the stick energy. Although he is temporarily unable to use Ba Tang, he can still be considered to have certain long-range attack methods by practicing the first step and wielding the stick energy. After pondering the attack essentials of the move, he used the steel whip and swung it again and again. The zombies in front of him were smashed to pieces one after another, but he was still unable to use his stick energy. No, logically speaking, the air bullets of high-level finger guns, the slashing of Lan Jia, the sword energy of swordsmen, and this diamond dysprosium should have the same power generation principle. Ao Shen was thinking while attacking. His feet were kicked out quickly, and a sharp half-moon-shaped slash flew out, disemboweling a corpse. But that's about it. His slashing power was still not enough to cut through the flesh and bones of corpses. A slash of this level is completely useless against an opponent of the same combat power. But he was thinking about the similarities between the two. With a whip, a zombie was hit in the head. He shook his head. It was not the feeling he wanted. He continued to try after crossing the zombie corpses. Behind him, zombies were fighting for the corpses of other zombies. He did not stop this scene, but slowly moved forward with Xiaobai and Ao Chen. At night, the three of them found a tall building. He smashed the stairs directly, and after transforming into a dragon, he took Xiaobai and Ao Chen to the top of the building. Without stairs, zombies cannot jump so high. Unless they directly break all the load-bearing columns of the tall building and collapse it, they will not be able to threaten the people on the top of the building. Once you reach the zombie level, you have the ability to break load-bearing columns. But they have no intelligence. Although they have the ability, they can't think of such a way, so they can only be incompetent and furious below. I opened a door casually and felt something strange. Ao Shin came to the bedroom door and kicked it open. What came into view was a large, soft bed, with a man as skinny as a skeleton lying on it. "Do you died?" Ao Shin approached slowly. "Not dead." The powerful seeing and hearing color can faintly feel the heartbeat of the other party. Although very slow and weak. As if hearing a noise, the person on the bed barely opened his eyes. But it's just a gap. He didn't know how long he had been hungry, but he was already on the verge of death. He was so weak, but for some reason, he didn't transform into a corpse. Tisk, tisk, how miserable. Ao Shin didn't care how he could hide here for so long without attracting zombies. A shot from the finger gun helped him escape from the sea of misery. This man was so weak that even when he stabbed him with a spear, his mood did not fluctuate at all. Although he was not afraid of dead people leaving this bedroom, there were many rooms in this building, so there was no need to stay in this one. Just as he was about to find another house, he heard a thud as something heavy fell to the ground. When I walked over, I saw a thin man who had been beheaded by Xiao Bai. Are there so many people hiding here? The man held a kitchen knife in his hand, and his body already had some spots on it. Even though he had not starved to death, his physical weakness was not far from turning into a corpse. He kicked away the man's body at the door and walked into the room. The scene he saw was shocking. There was also a woman's naked body in the room. The body showed no signs of transformation, but it was already mutilated. Next to the body, there were a few bones thrown away, and teeth marks were faintly visible on the bones. It seemed that the thin man was stronger than the skeleton-like man he saw before. Probably because I found some food. Several more houses were searched, but no more living creatures were seen. The three of them found a relatively clean and tidy house, swept away the dust falling on the surface, and planned to rest here for the night. Brother, watch this video. After dinner, Ao Shin, who was browsing Shenxi Network to watch recent events, saw a video link sent by Ao Chen. Click in and take a look. The popularity is already at the top of the list in China. Did this still happen? Even though Ao Shin has experienced a lifetime, even if he has watched this video once, he still can't stop his anger from rising when he sees it again. In the video, two groups of people were confronting each other at a safe spot backed by a water source. One of the groups was larger, with nearly 1,000 people. They seemed to occupy the site and drive out newcomers. The latecomers seemed to be trying to negotiate with each other, but they didn't want the other group to take the lead. The leader pulled out the sword from his waist and chopped off the head of the other party with one blow. This sword completely angered the opponent. Both sides had abilities, and a melee broke out. In the end, the group that occupied the place first won with numerical superiority. But the strange thing is that the loser seems to be blinded by anger. Even if he is outnumbered, he will try his best to kill one or two of the opponent. Conflicts in the apocalypse are already common. But the conflict in the video was different. Because it was the Fuzang people who killed people first. They gathered most of the surviving Fuzang people in the magical city, seized the Bund, and expelled the Chinese people, saying that this was their Fuzang territory. This is the main reason why the group behind them refuses to retreat even to the death. Our generation never caught up with the war back then, but today, the little devils still dare to insult our compatriots. God-given internet, the Chinese region immediately caused an uproar. These idiots are too arrogant. Even if the end of the world comes, the Magic City is still our Chinese territory. The brothers in the Demon City are so incompetent that they can make these fools so crazy. Why are there zombies? If I were in the Magic City, even if I was infected by zombies, I would have to rush over and get rid of them. The crowd was furious, and everyone was clamoring for war with the little devils. Below the video is a post. I, Wu Shuang of the Demon City, am here to recruit all my compatriots from the Demon City. In 7 days, I will storm the Bund. Whether any of you are here or not, even if it's just me, I'm going to fight in. I'm not a good guy, but I can't stand the little devil lording it over our territory. He was so passionate that he immediately attracted countless comments. Count me in. I'm not far from the Bund. And I'm a capable person with more than 60 people under my command. I asked, and they were all willing to go. And me, although I am not a capable person, I am still willing to try my best. I'm a little far away, and I might die in the hands of zombies before I get there, but I still have to go. Wait for me. Shame, what a disgrace to this mother-in-law. If they are allowed to gain a foothold in our magical city, even if I survive, how can I have the face to meet compatriots from other places? I also gathered more than 100 people, and they all went with me to fight against the little devil. If anyone runs away at this time, I will skin him. I just asked our boss, he didn't let us go. The brothers just chopped him down. Now I'm the boss here. There are 130 of us. Either rush to join the battle, or die from zombies on the way in the mouth. ... Still as passionate as I remember. He wasn't too worried about this battle. In the last life, nearly thousands of people gathered under the leadership of Wu Shuang, but most of them died on the way to join the war, but they still did not look back. This group of little devils had just begun to build a safe base and did not have many defensive fortifications. After Wu Shuang and others desperately attacked, they broke through it. No matter men or women, kill them all. Although, their casualties were also heavy. It was also in this battle that Wu Shuang showed his great strength, became the leader of the battle survivors, and gradually dominated the southeast. In the early days of the second god's gift, he also planned to attack Fuzhang. As for the outcome, Ao Shin doesn't know. He had died and been reborn at that time. Brother, I also want to join the war. Ao Chen ran from next door and pushed open his door, with a look of resentment and excitement on his face. Join the war, Ao Shin pondered. They are now outside the capital, not close to the magic city. But now that he is at the 3rd level, he has a bloodline factor, and he has also absorbed a 4th level awakening crystal. Qinglong is even more powerful, and his flying speed and distance are much farther. Within 7 days, it should be too late to kill Wu Ji, take away the devil fruit, and take Xiao Chen and Xiao Bai to the demon city to join the battle. Moreover, when it comes to fighting the little devils, he also wants to help out. Good. He immediately agreed to Ao Chen, but he also felt that he was full of passion and had nowhere to release it. Go to sleep. If you fight harder these days and become stronger, you will be able to kill more little devils. Yeah. Ao Chen nodded vigorously and stopped looking for Xiao Bai. He ran back to sleep. She wanted to recharge her batteries. After Ao Chen left, he thought for a while and replied under Wu Shuang's post, Biancheng Ao Shin will also participate in the war by then. His message was quickly noticed. Ao Shin, a person with the ability of the Blue Dragon. Ao Shin, the owner of the Dragon King shop. Does Mr. Qinglong want to rush from Biancheng to the Magic City? This is nearly 900 kilometers. Maybe more than that. Recently, I feel that some of the roads I frequently walk on seem to be longer than before. I suspect that Blue Star is getting bigger. Yes, I feel the same way. I thought it was an illusion before. I've seen the battle video of Big Brother Qinglong. At that time, he could defeat zombies with ease. Now, if I go to deal with these little devils, wouldn't I be able to capture them with ease? Tisk, the little devils are miserable. With Big Brother Qinglong here, they can't make any trouble. On the outskirts of the magical city, a girl was sitting under a big tree and panting. In front of her, stood a burly man. Don't you want me? Kill at least 3 little devils as an ability user, and I'll give it to you. The little beauty stared at Wu Shuang. She also saw the video. Otherwise, I would rather die. You can only get my body. Wu Shuang put his hands in his pockets, with a devilish smile on his lips. It's one thing for me to want you, but it's another thing for me to kill the little devil. You little devil, I will definitely kill him. But it has nothing to do with you. But I want you too, even if it's a corpse, I want it. He laughed loudly. As he said, he was not a good bird, but he had to do it even if he died. But after all, he didn't really want to just get a corpse, and after Nan promised not to run away, he stopped forcing him. On the Divine Network, when he saw Ao Shin's message under his post, he frowned. Ao Shin, is he coming? We will wait and see who is stronger between Qinglong and Qilin. In the south of Jizhou, a husky with a head full of yellow hair was running wildly with a husky covered with red hair. Hey, Xiao Sa, don't tell me, the husky is so fast when running. Wow, my stupid master, do you still have to say that? The Ha tribe is the most noble race in the dog world. Indeed, Xiao Wangmao, who transformed into a husky, felt the same way, and it took him a long time to react. What the? You scolded me again. You are stupid. Your whole family is stupid. Woof. At night, the two dogs turned around and found that the zombies were no longer chasing them, so they sat down on the roadside to rest. The dog fruit has a keen sense of smell, and even without his eyes, he can detect the approach of zombies in advance. Entering the Shenxi network to check the latest big news, he saw the video at a glance, as well as Ao Shin's message under Wu Shuang's post. Boss, I want to join the war too. He was excited at the time. Although he was just a mixed-race little yellow fur, he was also a patriotic yellow fur. He quickly sent a private message to Ao Shin. Boss, can you pick me up? I also want to kill the little devil. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.